take these centre bounce knocks against him, just trying to get that first advantage of the ball.
Scotty Wine won the toss. He kicks to the left of screen. Rowan Smith being picked up by John Blakey. He's playing back for the moment to Smith. Blakey forward. Jim McKern and then Wine crashed into each other at the start. Scott West, the first kick of the night, wide to Ramiro and Bell. Jose, who's ex-North Melbourne, has got a lot of history with these two clubs. Scott breaks through it, looked the throw from Roberts, but it was not called. Into the centre square, high bouncing ball, hard, high tackle there on Shannon Grant and a free kick. They've both been so good, these teams, throughout 1998. North Melbourne with that late charge. They've kicked more than any other teams in the competition. They're 1 and 2 in the fours. Wine front spot, good mark. He does get back so well. Evan Hewitt, who's got the job coming in for Mickey Martin tonight. Wind wide for Brad Johnson. He's got it at half-back. He wants to go away, and he does on Harvey. And delivers to Grant at centre-half forward, and he's got it. Chris Grant plays on quickly. Cook is one out. He kicks the ball very, very wide. Cook's got it. He ran into it. Archer's onto him now. And Cook, who does seem to have very good late season form. Last year he was fantastic late. There's Grant. And Cook was a star going into the finals last year, wasn't he?
He was. There's no doubt about that. And McCartney can't afford to give Chris Grant that sort of space. He can't second guess him. He has to go with him. He has to be shoulder to shoulder with him. He can't afford to think that Chris Grant is not going to lead up the ground, because they will look for him as they come through centre half forward.
Kicked the last goal last Friday night, just before the siren, to seal it and seal the Bombers' fate. Could he get the first tonight? 48 metres out. Hit the post. He rode it all the way. Fantastic crowd here. Must be well over 55,000. Dipper down on the boundary line. Dipper, I believe, a big incentive for the Bulldogs to win.
Absolutely. It's worth $60,000 extra for prize money, and it's good to see Tony Liberatore starting this game, as we saw him last week for the first time for a while, starting on the bench, Bruce.
60,000 because they haven't finished minor premier yet in their long history.
And their reserves have done the right thing. They won this match against North Melbourne reserves by 3 goals. The ball is with Craig Scholl. He's wide on the wing. His hand pass sets it up for Roberts. Short kick is all right, and Blakey is marked. He's going to be tackled. No, he shrugs the tackle. Hand pass off to Pike. Pike will kick the first goal. Ready? North Melbourne fans are ecstatic about that kick. Martin Pike, the 100-gamer for North Melbourne. He has been tremendous since crossing over, and he's kicked the first goal of this big match at the MCG, Friday night footy on 7.
Isn't it fascinating? We talk about North Melbourne being the long kicking side in the competition, and they just decided there to give the Bulldogs what they least expected. They went to the short option, and that actually set up Martin Pike on the way through. But it has all the hallmarks of a very entertaining and exciting clash in the early part of this game.
Just Martin Pike's 6th goal for this season. He's 52nd overall. So the first goal, and McKernan early. Wine taps it back. Simpson able to get the kick, but Ramiro gathers and kicks the Bulldogs towards half forward. Montgomery couldn't take the mark. Pickett did well in the finish. Scholl gets it off. King is well caught by Collingham. Is he going to be rewarded?
Yes, it is.
Looks as though it's a free kick, Johnny.
Yeah, obviously deemed that was a prior opportunity, so the tackler rewarded.
Wasn't much of a prior opportunity, but he actually pinned his arm too. There was no way he was going to be able to get rid of that ball in a legal way.
And not a bad little idea there by Colin Newt. He's given it to Hudson, and Hudson, who's been a tremendous goal kicker for the Bulldogs, has a chance to kick their first goal from about 50 metres.
Perfect conditions too, Robbo. No breeze whatsoever down here.
Yes, Dipper, it's been a beautiful day here in Melbourne. And Hudson goes for the Bulldogs' first goal. It's a pretty good kick. He's dobbed it. So Hudson now, 51 goals for the season. It has been a tremendous return.
Once again, the Western Bulldogs just opening up the goal face when they've gone forward. That kick there by Collingwood right into the sweet spot at centre half forward for Paul Hudson. He's one of those few forwards in the competition who's quite comfortable kicking from outside 50.
Early goals to Pike and Hudson. It'll be the first time that Hudson wins the leading goal kicker at his club, because he was in the Dunstall era at Hawthorn when he got all those goals. So he's over 50 for the 3rd time in his career. Western Wine back to Darcy. Darcy tries to get it back. Abraham tried to carry it through. Back to Abraham, hot footy. Ramiro's little kick back into the centre. Grant McCartney, free kick Grant. Advantage paid, still paid. It runs now for Hudson. It's going to come back now, John, because...
Well, the umpire, as you called it, Bruce, the umpire certainly called player advantage, but then obviously as the tackler gained on him, they called it back and awarded the original free kick to Chris Grant for the high contact.
So early touches for Grant here. Just checking where the mark exactly is. Now Cook's going to lead. Darcy's down there as well. Grant to Cook's a great kick. It's a magnificent field kick, isn't it, Chris Grant? Absolute bullet-like pass.
Yes, it's a beautiful kick, Bruce.
With 52.
Yep.
So 50 against North. Was it Pickett, wasn't it?
Pickett.
Was it Pickett?
Well, Pickett's lined up surprisingly on Montgomery. He's giving away a fair bit in height. I think that they're trying to do is they're probably going to try and run Montgomery around a bit because of the run that Pickett can provide. But on that occasion, they're very conscious then, the North Melbourne defenders, of that blocking tactic used by the Western Bulldogs late in last weekend's game against Essendon. Pickett didn't get near the contest. He actually stayed outside the contest, but nevertheless, the ball ended up in Cook's hands.
So Cook kicks his first goal. And the Bulldogs lead by 7 points.
And once again, Bruce, if you actually just rewind about 30 seconds before this kick from Grant, it was the Western Bulldogs, the way they actually earned their kick in the centre of the ground, where it was a hotly contested ball. They got in there with their numbers, and that's where they're very good. And then from those situations, they break, they splinter all over the field, and that's what you have to stop them doing.
Well, we get another really good look here at the reverse angle. What do you think, John? Definitely 50 metres?
Oh, definitely a 50, and could well come under review for something else. But
he doesn't need that.
No,
right
he doesn't
now
need that, that's for
finals.
sure.
McKernan up early, but Wind judged the jump a little better. West to Dent. Dent down the ground. Good kick. Pickett had no chance there. Montgomery out in front is marked on his chest. 50 metres from goal. He's got the chance. Darcy's running into the square. He goes in that direction. Cook at the back. Not able to mark. Punched away by Archer for a forced behind to the Bulldogs.
Well, I'll just bring up the date with the benches down here. Anthony Rock staying on the bench with Anderson, Capuano and Freeborn, and for Western Bulldogs, Garlick, Curley, Michael Martin and Mark West.
Thanks, Dipper.
And John Blakey is actually playing a tagging role as a half forward for North Melbourne. He's picking up Rowan Smith.
King to bring it in. So one Michael Martin still playing tonight, but the other Mickey looks like he might be badly missed tonight. He's a huge player for North Melbourne at the back. King goes wide. McKernan was looking for a free kick. Grant's having a huge opening turn. Clever kick round the body. Colin Newt bounce beating back to McCartney. Handball to King. Takes a couple on. Bulldogs have been quick early. Stevens tried to break the first tackle, and it'll be a bounce. Good decision. 60 metres, 55 metres from goal.
A real stark contrast from last Monday night's game between Melbourne and the Swans, isn't it? The number of tackles that were broken by Melbourne players. The same thing just not occurring in the early part of this game.
Bulldogs came from behind in round 7 to win. North led at three-quarter time, and the Bulldogs all over the top of them at Optus Oval. Bounce up, Scholl, it's a Pike. Pike around the corner, Blakey and Smith. Blakey, no free kick. Thought Brian Sheehan was thinking about it. Boundary throw in between half-back and centre wing.
Yeah, would have thought about it, Bruce, but obviously trying to determine what both players' prime objective was, and Rowan Smith, in Brian Sheehan's opinion, had a prime objective of spoiling, and that was called play on.
Montgomery, little one around the body, marked by Scott. Was he off?
Well, surely he's got to be given the chance to get rid of the ball, doesn't he?
Yes. Blood rule be applied too, Robbo.
Yeah, sees that. Liver's got to come off the ground. I don't know whether we get a chance here to have a good look at that bandage on his leg. It's not a bandage, but have a look at that on his left leg. It's just amazing that you'd think that a guy can still be as agile and as athletic with that wrapped around his left leg, but obviously it gives him the confidence.
So last week, Rob.
Sorry, Dip, go.
Also last week he came on the 15th-minute mark of the first quarter, but tonight they've started him off on the ground. Just a tremendous recovery.
Robbo, would you spill that much red at one of your dinner parties?
No, it all goes down, Tim, the right way. Robert Scott with the football. He is at left half back, and the player who has replaced Tony Liberatore, Simon Garlick, has to go all the way over and mind the mark. So now play will continue. Scott to kick the ball. It will land just past the wing. Carey in front. Well, that's a mark. That's got to be a mark.
Yeah, it's Brian Sheen actually signalling the ball was touched, and it certainly looked like a mark from here, Robbo, exactly as you called it. Here's the first grab of Wayne Carey. It pops out of Wayne Carey's hand. It's actually touched by Paul Dimatina in the middle there, and that's what Brian Sheen's called play on for.
Well, Carey not happy, but the player's gone on. We did see that in the slow-mo. Umpire hasn't got the chance to see the slow-mo, so it turned out to be a fair decision. Good mark taken by That's not paid. Well, the umpire's just letting the flow of the play go on, and McCartney sees the ball over for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, here we see Pickett attempting to take the mark and doesn't really take a firm grab of it, and that's why the umpire has called play on, I'd suggest.
Darcy at the back shoulder. Hudson clever. Ramiro off the ground, and he's going to get a free kick for pushing the back.
And so he should, Bruce. I mean, he was attempting to take the kick and was clearly pushed in the middle of the back as he was trying to kick the footy. If those infringements aren't penalised, then every time a bloke has a shot at goal, he'd get buried. We may get an opportunity to see it again after Jose takes the shot from about 15 metres out.
Gift goal, isn't it, for Ramiro?
They've had a couple, haven't they? Cook kicked one from the goal square with a 50-metre penalty. In fact, their goals have come from free kicks, every one of them. The original goal was set up to good play, but it was a free kick in the centre of the ground. And Ramiro should score. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Squeezed it home. North are going to settle a bit here, don't they? Because they have given away a lot of free kicks, whether they like it or not, or whether they agree with it or not. They've given away a heap here.
And one enlightening stat in the early part of this game is the Western Bulldogs 4 centre clearances to North Melbourne's 0. Just watch this again.
Yeah, Jose tries to kick it with the left foot and certainly pushed in the middle of the back. We're in front of that, but there was not much doubt at all from where we're sitting that that was a clear push in the back for Jose Ramiro.
So the play about to restart. McKernan determined. Equally as determined, the Bulldogs captain Scotty Wine. McKernan to Ramiro. Again, you'd probably have to call that an effective clearance by Ramiro, but the mark taken by McCartney. Chipping in is David King. He goes straight down the ground in the area of Carey, and he gets this one emphatically on his chest. He'd probably shoot for goal from there. He kicks it high into the square. Back goes Crediuk, and it's hit the post, so a rush behind to North Melbourne.
Actually, I wonder why Wayne Carey didn't probably take a little bit more time, as we see Libba being attended to there on the bench. A cut, probably a couple of stitches in that cut, but Wayne Carey was just outside 50. That really is within his range. He hurried that kick almost as if he was just aiming it for the top of the square.
Cameron to himself, and then from in front of the members stand here at the MCG, kicks beautifully. Umpire's found a free kick.
Free kick to Scholl.
Now, is this the blocking thing that they've been talking about?
No, he actually signalled holding.
There's only one-on-one then, there was a holding.
Scholl, the recipient of the free kick, kicks to half forward. Big punch by Scotty Wine. To gather is Cameron. He does it pretty nicely, doesn't he, from around that area, Leon Cameron. He kicks the ball along towards the wing. No mark taken by Freeborn. Grant was hard at the football, and his endeavours may have been an infringement, as the umpire sees it.
Rewarded for a high tackle, Robbo.
Away to Stevens, Anthony Stevens for North Melbourne. Oh, lovely mark.
Push out the
Well, wasn't the umpire in a terrific posse to make that decision? Brian Sheehan it was. Scotty Wine out wide to Dimatina. Dimatina down the ground. Johnson's an opportunity here for the Bulldogs.
Goes to Cook at half forward. He's got him. Good mark. He's been lively early, Cook. He hit the post from this very same position very early in the match. 3 marks for Cook.
What a great example of the way, once they gain possession of the ball across half-back, how they splinter out. They found themselves some space.
Two captains are not happy, Tim. Sorry, the two captains are not happy with one another. Cook's kicked 9 goals in his last 2 matches. A thumping long kick. And he's just missed. Wine and Carey are going to see a bit of each other tonight too, because that's the hole that Wine is so effective at dropping back into, isn't it? As good as any other big man in the comp, he will drop into the hard hole.
No doubt about that. He's a great player at just doing just that.
Anthony Rock about to come on for North.
Pickett to bring it in, and straight down the centre to Scholl. And he's away. and delivers down the centre again with a wobbly old kick that doesn't quite get to Carey. Smith tried to cut it off. High tackle on Blakely, free kick against Dent.
See, that looked tough. That did look tough.
Carey wants it over the top. Scholes got it. He'll go all the way here. They want Carey in the goal square. It's a reasonable kick. He's got it. No, yes, he has. Well, that is interesting. That's an interesting one because
Down the other end, Pickett, he took a certain mark, if that was a mark.
Yeah, and he certainly paid the mark. He hasn't paid the free kick for the front contact.
reverse angle here.
That was certainly the mark paid, and I would suggest that got to be careful here, but I didn't think Wayne Carey took a really firm grab of that one either.
Just go back to the other one. When it was touched on the way through by Di Martinez, that's a mark or a non-mark?
That's a non-mark.
Non-mark, fair enough.
And the umpire was calling play on that early, Bruce.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that was a mark, but I would have thought Byron Pickett's was a mark down there.
Good angle. Good shot of the angle here. Let's see if the champion can goal. Will he try and improve? He does. He'll try and hook it back, and he's hit the post. Well, right now, the King must be thinking, maybe it's not quite my night, but there's a long, long way to go. 1 goal, 2 to 3-3.
And that's for sure. Crediuk marks the kick in. Di Martino providing magnificent running support. The handball, not too bad for Rowan Smith. He was able to run onto it, and then just ran straight past his North Melbourne opponent, McKernan. He'll kick for goal, and just misses to the right. Gee whiz, I'd like to get a look at the North Melbourne player that was about to confront Rowan Smith, but he was motionless as he ran straight past him.
It was McCartney who was wrong-footed, but gee, they just brought that ball down the ground with such ease, didn't they? The North Melbourne zone wasn't really ready for that kick-out situation.
22 plays 8, halfway through the first quarter. Big game, big crowd, big atmosphere here at the MCG. Garlick across his left shoulder. Pickett couldn't take the mark. Must get rid of it. Another.
It was paid. The mark has been paid, Robbo.
Oh, you're joking.
No.
Oh, well, there's a few questionable decisions. Maybe the umpires are a bit toey, Johnny.
Could well be.
Maybe the big occasion's getting a bit much for them too.
I would hope not.
Archer from the half-back line kicks it out wide. No mark taken. Cameron to Dent. Dent in towards the half-back area, and Garlick is marked. Western Bulldogs 26 kicks to 14 so far in this first quarter. Certainly have had a fair bit of the footy. Garlick's kick into the middle. Mark taken by Di Martino. Looks to play on Abraham. Not quite alert enough there. Di Martino down the ground. Goes out wide in front of Cook. Archer. Cook gets rid of him. No, he didn't. Didn't Archer play that well? And he went down the ground and kicked it out wide where Carey has taken a good mark. Rolling with the football. Tucked in close to his chest and then lets himself down with a 2 out of 10 kick out of bounds on the full, and an uncustomary finish there by Wayne Carey. Short kick, Darcy. Darcy wider still to Ramiro. Back to Darcy. Squeezes the kick into the middle. Good play, Wirra. Wirra down the ground for the Bulldogs.
Wirra gets it back from Di Martino and then unloads badly and blazes and misses. But their rebound footy's worrying North for the moment, isn't it? They're getting it from one end to the other very quickly.
I guess coming into this game, what you would have questioned was perhaps the Bulldogs' pace over North Melbourne. That's exactly how it's being played here at the moment. North Melbourne just not able to stay with the Bulldogs out of those crunch-type situations. The Bulldogs just finding too much space.
King just pops it up into the centre and gives Grant a chance, but it went right over the top. Freeborn tried to lay it down, unable to do so. Back to Archer, well played, very well played to Roberts, who just belts it on the boot in the direction of Hewitt. At centre half forward, Wine getting back, well played to Garlick. Garlick, high ball, getting underneath it is Montgomery, running at it hard. Scott couldn't get a run at it. Stevens' handball, releases Roberts. Roberts normally a good kick. Kicks towards McKernan. Wine back there. McKernan front spot. Belted away. Carey traps it well. Gives it to Freeborn beautifully. Freeborn paves away and kicks a goal. It's a good game. I think we're in for a big one. 2-2 to 3-5.
And Dennis Pagan swinging the changes. Hewitt's coming off the ground. He's being replaced by Grant. But that was a good goal there, set up by Corey McKernan, really, with it knocked back into space, and then Carey, who really didn't get the handball to Freeborn. Freeborn was just at the base of that contest. Scotty Wine doing a good job getting back and filling in that space.
And Terry Wallace on the phone down to the bench. They've had a fair bit of the footy, 43 possessions to 38 in favour of the Western Bulldogs. They've been into their forward 57 times as against North Melbourne 10. Umpire has decided here on a bounce. Our umpires tonight are Darren Goldspink, Martin Ellis and Brian Sheehan. And we've already seen in the first 20 minutes or so of this match just a few decisions that we may have had to have a second look at. A couple of good ones, of course. Scotty Wine trying to take the ball away. It's kicked forward by Simpson towards Carey. He's 2 against 1. Back goes McKernan. He may nail Croft. Croft's attempted hand pass smothered. Cameron gets it back in the area there of Rowan Smith. Out wider still. Chance here for Dent. Dent goes very wide. Johnson, the bounce is beautiful for Johnson. Able to straighten up onto his right foot and then kicks towards half forward. Hudson tries to get rid of Stevens. Back goes Robert Scott. He's tackled from behind very nicely by Hudson. Dimatina to Johnson. Johnson from half forward. Little stab pass. Grant couldn't take the mark. Gee, it's frenetic football at centre half forward for the Bulldogs. Grant gets the hand pass out. Johnson bumped off the footy. Scott to pick it. It bounces off that player. Tremendous close in and under footy by both players. Groups of players on that occasion. Forces a bounce.
Well, what would you say the temperature was of that football at the moment?
I would say well over melting point. Well over. It's high. Gee, it's hot stuff, isn't it?
It's ungrabbable, isn't it?
Well, it keeps everyone on their toes, doesn't it? It's terrific footy. Scholl gets the ball down. Chance here for the Bulldogs. Scotty West to Hudson. Doesn't mind this situation, Paul Hudson. Gets back to Archer. Archer able to kick the ball away. Montgomery did well. Forced the boundary throw in, give Peter Bell and James Cook. And I think that's a good sign for the Bulldogs that James Cook is working hard on the full forward line to keep the ball up there.
Great percentage play there by Archer too, just to bring the ball back to ground. Kept it to the boundary side.
Took on to Bell, no free kick. Boundary throw in, Colin looked away from him. Stevens diving underneath it courageously. Back to Simpson, Scotty West with him. And a boundary throw in.
They're very good at suckering free kicks, the Western Bulldogs. On that occasion, we saw an example of with Colin actually hanging on to the arm of the North Melbourne defender, but the umpire just too wise to that.
Mark West on for Garlick. He's a real impact player, West. Grant and McCartney, they lock arms down towards Pike. Pushed forward there by Hudson, taken by Dimatina with a bit of pace. Well played, kicks it out in front of Cook. Now Archer will try and come off him here, and he's got away from him. And look at this, Blakey's got a paddock and can go away. McKernan wants it long. Blakey running hard. He's got to be run down, is he? No, quite. Marvellous run there, I think, from Johnson. Overhand, still going Winston. Don't tell me he's caught, he's holding the footy. He's run too far. What play by the Bulldogs at centre wing. It was Montgomery's run down was superb. And then this chase here by Crediuk on Abraham was fantastic stuff. Great stuff by the Doggies.
Well, I think the Western Bulldogs can sense they just missed the opportunity last year, but by gee, they can see that there's a real chance for them to win their first flag for 44 years here with this group of players that seem to be doing everything right as far as the coach is concerned. Greg from centre wing goes in towards the middle. Wirra, very much a ball getter and a creator, gives it to Ramiro. He's not far forward of the centre circle. He kicks in the direction of Cook. He just misses the mark. He goes on, and James Cook has hit the post from 30 metres out, and it wasn't really all that difficult a shot at goal.
Should have given it off, I reckon. Johnson was just going to run and kick the easiest of goals.
Well, he had to change direction, James Cook. Just watch this tackle here again by McCartney on Grant. Just terrific play the way Grant actually won that ball, but a high tackle by Grant.
Well, the ball is out to half-back, left half-back for North Melbourne. Craig Scholl with the footy, over his right shoulder. Not able to take the mark was Abraham. Blakey gets it to Winston Abraham, and he runs away from centre wing. Kicks the ball in towards half-forward. McKernan, good spoil there by Wind, and he puts his body in again. In goes West, and the ball held up at centre half forward for North Melbourne. They trail on the scoreboard. They're 14. The Bulldogs are 24. Goals have come for the Bulldogs from Hudson, James Cook and Ramiro, and for North Melbourne, Martin Pike and Glenn Freeborn. 4.5 minutes left. Wind again, puts that big posterior out, then grabs the footy back again, tries to get it clear. Kick wide by Johnson. Chance here for West. Simpson is his minder for the night by the look of it, and he did it pretty well there. West tries to knock it forward at the expense of Scott. Chance here now for Bell. His hand passed while he was held a little high, Johnny, by the look of it.
That was the signal given, but there didn't seem to be much in it, and we were right in front of that, Robbo.
Bell for North Melbourne to kick them into attack.
Centre wing, 14 to 24. Goes down the line. McKernan the target. Well done, though, Dent. Courageously in the front. Probably a bit stiff. McKernan's handball ambitious. Mark West, Rock with him. Still with Mark West. Handball back to Dent. Dent sits and waits on it. Goes back to Scotty West. Scotty West delivers. McKernan front spot. Dimatina. The punch away was to the favour of North Melbourne. Down to Shoal. Back to Bell. Punches to centre half forward. Great mark. Blakey, because Smith had the box seat and in the end probably had to punch. He probably should have thumped it away, and Blakey was able to almost drift back into the position and take a finger tipper. It was a great effort.
Courageous mark, wasn't it? Just going back with the fly of the ball, unaware of what was coming behind him. But Rowan Smith, just an incorrect decision on that occasion.
2-3 to 3-6. North coming back. James Cook's kick 1-3 for the Bulldogs in the opening term. They probably should be 3 in front at this stage, and they lead by 9 points. Blakey low, and he's missed it. So they both had misses. Carey hit the post. Dennis Pagan. 64% is his winning record at North Melbourne. 64.5 to be exactly. Stewart and Roberts and Capuano. It's a huge coaching performance by Pagan, isn't it? Since '93.
3 tall players there on the bench for North Melbourne. Bulldogs 18 marks to 11 so far. Cook has taken 3, Blakey and Carey 3 each for North.
Dent wide and long. Oh, big fly from Johnson. Stevens over the top of the footy, working it towards the line, and it's a boundary throw-in.
You could see from here where the ball was going to be directed. As we see Libba just getting himself organised to come back on the ground. Johnson high above the pack, unable to grab hold of the ball. But that was the weak spot in the North Melbourne zone.
Wine's got it. Abraham steals it from him. 65 metres out. Gives it a hook and misses a lot. It's out of bounds on the 4. 2-3-3-6. 15 to 24.
That's Dent in front of Rock at a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, he's paying the 50, obviously, considering that contact was late on Matthew Dent, and so the 50 will be paid.
Well, we'll have
you see
another
Dent takes the mark, and then Rocky just comes in that fraction late, and the 50-metre penalty paid for that.
Thought he was Shane Dye. Dent with the football. He's on the right-hand defensive end of the square. The short kick to the other side of the ground. Crediuk gets it to Cameron. Doesn't mind trying to set it up, Leon Cameron. Short kick. Gives it up, really. Chance here for Shannon Grant. Hand pass is very emphatic to Stevens. He gathered it well. Kick with the right foot to centre half forward. Good mark taken back there by Crediuk. One of the most underrated players, and I'm sure he's not underrated by his teammates or the selection committee at the Western Bulldogs. Johnson from right half back carries the ball after one bounce, goes in short, and the mark is taken there by Grant, covering lots of territory. Chris Grant gets past McCartney. Just looks a real skillful player, doesn't he? To Johnson, who was one of the initiators. Now, what's happened here?
Free kick's been paid to McCartney as the chaser. Obviously, in the umpire's opinion, he was bumped away from the chase when he was more than 5 metres away from Chris Grant while he was running with the ball, and you don't see that paid very often. You don't see that paid very often.
I think that's just an overreaction to some of the decisions that perhaps haven't or have been paid in recent times.
Could be right, Tim. Could be right.
McCartney, a high, long kick to half forward, punched away by Croft. The spillage not quite gathered there by Wirra. In goes Rock. Good hands there. Roberts was at the end of it. Roberts high ball. Scholl goes back. Nearly took a screamer. Blakey, who's been very, very productive around that half forward line, locks the football in, and the umpire will bounce.
Yeah, Robert, a lot of movement on the interchange bench down here for North Melbourne. Both Capuano and Roberts now on the ground. 2 tall fellas, as you mentioned before.
See McKernan off at the moment with Hewitt and Freeborn Dipper. So North attacking here. They've had most of it in the last 10 minutes, but they haven't been able to score. It's really been some good defence. Blakey just gets through, kicks to the pocket. Darcy wants a good bounce. Anderson's got a chance here. Couldn't quite get hold of it. And a boundary throw-in. It's really been North mounting attacks and the Bulldogs breaking, haven't they, from the back and counter-attacking. Terry Wallace and Dennis Pagan, who won't go far from their telephones tonight. Almost at quarter time. Bulldogs 9 points in front. Wind and also Capuano. Ball comes down on hands and knees. Anderson. Scott West high tackle will get a free kick.
All but 8 players then in the forward 50 for North.
Off to Ramiro. Ramiro's handball to Crediuk. Crediuk back to West. West outside 50. Short pass to Cameron. Cameron through the centre. Late goal be handy here. Penetrating kick's a good one. Inside 50. Hudson running onto it. He's a beautiful finisher. Left foot and he's goal. Fantastic. The burst, the break is really worrying North, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 6.
Well, this is exactly what the Bulldogs do so well. On that occasion, Roberts really had to go with Hudson, but he just didn't have the leg power to keep up with Hudson. It was a wonderful kick too from Cameron from half back. He really is a player who has a penetrating kick. The ball travelled a little bit further than perhaps Roberts thought it was going to into the path of Hudson. And in this first term, or for the year, Hudson has kicked 52 goals.
Handy one, isn't it? Right on the siren. Wine and Capuano. Jose getting involved. Remember at quarter time at Optus and at half time at Optus, there was a whole lot of goings on between the two teams, but hopefully they're going to clear pretty quickly here. Chris Grant talking to one of the runners there. Might have been the North Melbourne runner actually talking to Chris Grant. And well, the Bulldogs have taken the points, but it's very early days. There's a whole lot of conversations and communication going on here between Wine and Darren Goldsmith, the captain and one of the umpires. But Terry Wallace and the Bulldogs have got a handy break at quarter time. It's 2-3 North and 4-6 the Bulldogs. That's the score at quarter time.
And Brett Harvey.
Thanks, Dipper. North with Carey at centre half forward and no one behind him here. 2-3 to 4-6. The Bulldogs will kick to the right of screen. The two top teams in the competition on this huge Friday night game. McKernan belts it forward. Rowan Smith quickly kicks back to centre half forward. Front spot Montgomery, well done to Peckett at the back. Grant had a very good opening turn. Got too slow. The other Grant was onto him, Shannon, and then unluckily for North, I think not getting a free kick because it was thrown out in the end. Stevens kicks it back and marked by McKernan. Pineapple Head tells us that Stevens ran 4.5 Ks in the opening quarter. That is remarkable. Carey puts his hands up to shield himself from the lights. Crediuk's little kick doesn't go far enough. Taken by Carey. He can't break the tackle. Croft's got him. Play on called. The Bulldogs have been good. He might be gone. Smith. Play on again called. Carey over the top. Wants a free kick. Didn't get it. Croft caught up. Getting rid of it. West couldn't quite get the kick away. Terrific stuff from both teams. They were at it.
Bruce, one thing Terry Wallace said at quarter time there, he said to his player, look, this won't be pretty football, but just keep your head down and just keep pushing the ball forward.
Look at this, the gang tackle here by the Bulldogs.
Both teams are completely fearless here, aren't they? They'll give no quarter at all. Wine belts it away, Montgomery. He did get down low and Pike got up high, but a good decision, I reckon, and a boundary throw.
Well, more importantly, Bruce, the umpire is immediately behind this tackle and there is no way he would be able to tell where Martin Pike's left arm was.
He wouldn't want to have a look at the front on view.
The front on view makes it pretty clear it was a high tackle.
Still, he was, don't you reckon he was ducking?
It doesn't matter, he got him over the shoulder and it's a free kick. But anyway, players gone on. Simpson and West. West was not in the least bit intimidated by Carey a few seconds ago when he fronted the big fellow and just held him up. Scotty West, one of the tough customers at the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah,
now,
Bruce,
gee whiz.
Yeah, that was probably more like the umpire's angle that we get from that camera shot, so you can certainly see why we wouldn't have seen the left arm over the shoulder.
60 metres from North Melbourne's goal. Anthony Rock as well, tackled by Liberatore. And the umpire now sees this is a free kick.
And the high tackle again, Robbo, is what's being paid.
The pressure is just extreme at the moment, isn't it?
It's gone the other way. It's gone the other way to Montgomery.
Yeah,
What was that for?
the signal given was for a high tackle, Robbo.
I thought Libber was in there somewhere, may have infringed there against Anthony Rock, and I'm sure all the fans are absolutely bemused by that. Leon Cameron, his fourth kick is a high, long one towards half foot.
Great mark, great
It
mark.
certainly was, Dipper, wasn't it? He's a terrific player, Chris Grant. coming up for kick number 5, his third mark, yet to kick a goal in this match, goes short. It's effective. The mark is taken by Dent. Dent is not quite up to half forward. He's probably about 85 to 90 metres from goal. Definitely 2 kicks from the Bulldogs' goal. He lobs it high in the area of Darcy. Gathered by Dimatina. He's dragged to the ground. Ramiro dispossessed. Anderson does well. Sneaky little hand pass to Stevens, who goes in the direction of Roberts, and he doesn't let him down. He's marked. He's probably 2 kicks from the North Melbourne goal. Goes across the line. Chance for Blakey. He's proving to be a damaging player for the Kangaroos. He goes right to the line, but Scotty Wine, haven't we become accustomed to that? Marks the ball on the line, kicks it out wide. McKernan keeps his footing. Falling over there was Dent. The hand pass finds Roberts. Roberts in turn into the middle. Anderson just went to anywhere. David King dispossessed by Liberatore. It really is terrific footy. And Roberts goes for the safety of the boundary line. He won't get there. It's kept in here by Robert Scott. Roberts tackled from behind there by Dimatina, and he lets him know all about it. And it trundles over for a boundary throw-in. 30 plays 15 early in the second term. The big game between 1 on the ladder and 2 on the ladder. McKernan off the ground and coming on for his first taste of the football tonight, Matthew Capuano.
Had a short run right on the opening term. He was there for just a little bit.
Free kick is found at left half back to Scott.
To Peckett. North under the gun here. Peckett wide. Blakey's been interesting tonight. He's been important. To Pike, to Blakey, the 1-2. Blakey at centre wing. Kick to centre half forward. Big fly from Carey in the front. Abraham, still Abraham. Wind again. Geez, a great defensive ruckman to Smith. Smith's handball, bullet-like to Scott West. West in the back pocket. Comes away, hugs the boundary line. Too cute in the end by Scotty West. And it was out of bounds on the full.
What Terry Walsh is saying to his defenders in Rowan Smith and Wind, get back. Just fill in that space in defence. I don't care if your man gets a kick up around the centre of the ground. We'll defend.
Rock got it from Carey and then chipped to centre half forward. Darcy back there. There's a fair bit of height for the Bulldogs out there and they're using it well. They lead 4-6 to 2-3. Darcy wide to Dent. Dent keeps it low to Ramiro's a good kick, isn't it? Ramiro's free kick. Had to get it. Advantage paid to Brad Johnson. Johnson onto Chris Grant, is having a terrific game. 70 metres out. Cook will try and lead on Archer. Cook goes to the pocket. He's got him again. Geez, a good kick, Grant. He's a magnificent field kick. He never misses the target. And he's found Cook in the pocket, who had he kicked straight in the opening term, he could really have blown it away.
See, Brad Johnson's running past him then, Bruce. He was screaming out, hold the ball, and try to find some space, but then he found Cook.
Chris Grant might just have a thumb injury, I think. But Cook having his 5th shot for goal. He's kicked 1 free so far tonight. He kicked 6 goals against the Crows in that losing preliminary final. In fact, in round 22 last year, he kicked 7 goals against Hawthorn, and he's just faded away. So he kicked 1 for Cook. 1 goal for.
Grant had his fingers kicked out before because the ball was in his hands, and that's why the doctor was just checking. He's okay.
We might have another look at thanks Tipper with Chris Grant, who's seeing plenty of the football tonight. David King leans back and kicks it as far as he possibly can.
Maybe just got a sprained finger out of that, Grant. This is Blakey. By gee, he's proving to be a thorn in the side of the Western Bulldogs, John Blakey. He could go all the way here. He gives it a good roost. Magnificent kick by John Blakey. North have got the goal. You'd have to think, Tim, that they've got to do something and tighten up on Blakey.
Well, it's a fascinating point, Robbo, because what they're prepared to do is concede a kick to Blakey. Blakey is playing up the ground. He's trying to pull Smith away from half-back. Smith is staying back across half-back, so Blakey really has become the go-to player for North Melbourne when they're going into attack, but I guess they're going to have to weigh up whether or not Blakey becomes too much of a damaging player before they make a change.
So North closing, 3-3 to 4-7, 21 to 31. Blakey with 10 possessions. It's been very good. He's taken 5 marks tonight. And it is fascinating, as Tim said, with Rowan Smith dropping back. just what they're going to do there. Johnson out of the centre. King, now North are coming back hard. Plays it in front of himself. West was onto him. It was a good contest. The ball's at centre wing. Libber's all over the top. Well played by Liberatore to West. It was a throw, was it, from Libber? That's what's been paid. And a free kick to Simpson. Jose gives it up now. Nobody on the mark for the moment. Carey leads. Simpson kicks it across the ground. Won't get to Carey. Peckett there. Montgomery taken by Scholl. Handball back. Scott wants a good bounce. Gets it. Leans back. Kicks it in the direction of Capuano. Croft was terrific. Kept his eyes on the footy.
Hurt himself.
Ball in the back pocket. Kick away by Darcy. Doesn't go out of play. Getting it back now is Carey. Carey leads back and goes. And does he kick it? The King is delivered. It's a big one. Almost from nowhere. It's 4-3 to 4-7. And when they see a goal like that, they just might say in America, Tim, that Michael Jordan's the Wayne Carey of the NBA.
Well, they just applied real pressure here, North Melbourne, once again. The Western Bulldogs could just not get a clean possession back out of their defensive area. In the end, Carey just finding daylight between the posts with good finishing.
Well, not big stats so far to Carey, just 5 kicks, but a big goal there. Capuano jumping too early. The ball now with Cameron. Can't break away. Effective tackle, and he's been given the chance to get rid of it and penalised, and he looks as though he's acknowledging that decision. Abraham's kick across the half-forward line. It's gathered by Carey. Is there an advantage?
Yes.
There is. In goes Carey for his second goal in a minute, and he's got it. Big impact on this game. Don't you worry about that. Before the night's out, he is going to be a big player in this game and for the rest of the 5 weeks.
It's good umpiring, wasn't it? It was really good umpiring there.
Once again, just watch this again. Well, we won't see the actual winning of the centre bounce clearance, but that's where North Melbourne actually got the first advantage. They won the ball out of the centre, and then they were going into a forward line where the Western Bulldogs really couldn't set up that defensive move that they've been employing so well so far in this game. And Wayne Carey, who's so often a game breaker, 2 goals in as many minutes.
5-3, 4-7. Well, if the footy was hot early, Capuano's given away a free kick. The footy was hot early. It's white hot now. West's kick, good. Mark McCartney. North has really risen to the challenge, haven't they here? They've responded. McCartney's kicked back. McKernan's there, worked under by Darcy. Wine's handball was a good one to Montgomery. The Bulldogs turn to retaliate here. Kicks back to centre wing. Well played by McCartney, building it way to Stevens. Stevens gets it forward in the McKernan direction. Free kick to McKernan. Against the Bulldogs here. Now you can thump this. He is a prodigious kick.
I think, yes, against Luke Darcy, and I don't know what for, because there was certainly no contact, and we've said many times that the contact from the front has to be firm, and nothing much in that one.
He's a long kick, this fellow. He doesn't time it at all. He kicks it terribly and kicks the ball out of bounds. He's going to be disappointed in that.
That's just careless. It really is just careless.
Dipper, I don't know down there, but here you feel that North is now saying to the Bulldogs, let's find out who's the best team in the
ball
comp.
out in the middle now, Bruce, and the voices are certainly after the North Melbourne boys.
Going to find out plenty here.
Capuano and Scotty Wine nearly on the North Melbourne goal line. Anthony Rock applying the tackle there. And the ball locked up as the players sort themselves out. Adam Simpson, a protagonist there with Scotty West. Just little body work there, just to annoy your opponent. Anxious looks on the faces there of the Footscray coaching staff. Terry Wallace in the foreground. Capuano gets in front there of Scotty Wine. Scholl and Wine still there. Wine not able to clear that congestion, so the umpire will bounce once again. A big crowd here for Friday night football at the MCG, the eve of the 1998 finals. The top side versus the second side. Here, North Melbourne and the Bulldogs. North Melbourne into their forward 56 times to 1 so far in this term. Kicked away by Ramiro, taken by Simpson. Abraham gets around and effectively kicks to the square. At the back, Scholl, punched away by Crediuk. And he forces a behind to the Kangaroos.
Tim, I'm interested in the matchup between David King and Liberatore. Not because of the pace-wise, but the height.
Yeah, I guess if you're trying to expose perhaps Libba for height, maybe what you do is get King to go down and play in your attacking 50 dipper, but it probably doesn't serve the purpose of North Melbourne tonight.
So Den having to kick it back in again. 5-4-4-7. It's had all the intensity of a big final, this one. Quite a unique situation tonight with these teams playing. We've never had two teams on the same points play one another at the end of the season. They're so close in percentage too, just 0.3% after 21 matches. We were in the back pocket, almost to centre wing. Belted away by Wine and run over by Smith. So back to half forward for North. In fact, it's been in North Melbourne's forward line for practically the whole of this second term, I would think. Colin Newgoff, Mark West on.
And Terry Wallace does rotate those midfield players. They play about 10 minutes each and they come off the ground.
Ramiro, left foot round the body into a vacant space here. Grant and McCartney, an important ball. Pickett to pick it up. Can't ride the ball. Yes, he can ride the ball. But then he gave it up. And Jose, does he get a free kick? No. Gee, it was exciting stuff, wasn't it? Pickett is just so elusive, and his orientation is extraordinary at times. I mean, how did he ride this and get hold of it again? And then he lost it for the moment, slipped it up, and it was a good tackle on Ramiro. It was a fantastic tackle on him. Tackles in this quarter, 11-4, North Melbourne's way. They've really turned up the heat. Ramiro kicks the ball to centre wing. Mark West takes the mark on Robert Scott.
Mark West, who was such a good player for the Bulldogs last year towards the end of the year, to Dimatina. Now Dimatina, can he finish this? Can Dimatina finish with a goal? It is a magnificent kick by Paul Dimatina. The Bulldogs are in front again. Paul Dimatina's first goal for the game. Paul Hudson has kicked 2 goals. He's the only multiple goal kicker for the Bulldogs, and the flags are flying in the western suburbs.
And in case you're wondering how somebody can get so much space in a game of AFL football, what a lot of clubs do from those stationary situations around the ground is they actually play a game of Russian roulette. Players run forward of the ball like Dimatina did on that occasion. They bank on their own side winning the ball.
Well, it was a good kick, wasn't it? On the run, he really made a certainty of it, bouncing inside the 50 and drilling it home for the Bulldogs. Up high, Capuano once again. Ramiro gets a kick away. The mark is taken by Dimatina in front of Bell. Having an impact now, Paul Dimatina. The hand pass to Ramiro in towards full forward. Punched away by Glenn Archer. Gathered by Scott. Goes across the line in the area of Blakey. Just about has to take this. He's got it. Tackled by Hudson. Ball spills for Pike. He kicked the first goal of the game for North Melbourne. And then eventually it's hurried over for a boundary throw-in right on centre wing.
How about that attacking punch then from Glenn Archer coming out from pullback, as you see Peter Bell there just having a rest on the interchange bench. No doubt North Melbourne will be rotating their midfielders too, given the number of running exercises they'll have to do tonight. Mickey Martin there and John Longmire sitting up watching the game.
Did watch a fair bit of John Longmire in the reserves, and I'm sure he's going to be an integral part, because you need more than the 22 players if you're going to win a flag. And he's going to be one of those that North Melbourne may have to fall back on in the next few weeks. Capuano, he's just gotten rid of by Scotty Wine. Just a little bit of finessing by West. Knocked away by Robert Scott, gathered by Grant. Tried to get the hand pass away, and so did Brad Wirra. It's a real struggle close to the line, eventually taken over by Grant. And some pushing and shoving there between the players of their respective sides. Mark West very much, and you can see there North Melbourne, they've had a fair bit of the play in this second term inside their 56 times to the Bulldogs just twice. Of course, the Bulldogs kicked the goal through Paul Dimatina. Capuano down at the feet there of Pickett, not able to control it, and eventually the boundary umpire will have to throw it in once again, as Brett Ellison is an interested onlooker. I'm sure that's Barry Round's son in the background, David Round, who is having another crack at it, having had a try with the Bulldogs and now with North Melbourne. Centre breaks certainly favouring the Bulldogs, but they're not getting it inside their 50. Grant gets rid of McCartney, well backed up by Archer. Falling down, he got the hand pass away. That was magnificent football by Archer. Roberts gets the ball towards half forward. Capuano, but punched away. He's a disciplined player, Scotty Wine, and Cameron prepared to accept the boundary throw-in.
And Byron Pickett now has a different opponent. Martin has come onto the ground. He's replaced Montgomery. And Byron Pickett, who was against a marking player, is now against a running type player, so he's going to have to adjust his own game.
Darcy and McKernan taken by Wirra. High ball round the corner. Danger zone here at centre half forward. Johnson, well done. Kept his eyes on it and took the mark. Bulldogs have responded well here to the North Melbourne challenge. 37-34. 9 kicks. This will be number 10 for Johnson. From centre half back, goes wide. Grant the target. McCartney looked to be hanging on to him. Simpson took it pretty well, and then just got a little kick away. Scott West's back turn was a beauty. Handball on. Hudson wants the right bounce. Pickett's hip and shoulder. Probably should have tackled him at that stage. Tries another go at Pickett. North Melbourne have a couple over the top. West is in there, and it's going to be a bounce again.
It's just fabulous stuff, isn't it? That pressure that's being applied from both sides. They know how important it is to win those crunch situations, and they're just applying body and soul to it.
It was such a good bump by Pickett that Hudson was shocked into doing something wrong, wasn't he?
Bulldogs unbeaten here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. North, by the way, has played here on 11 occasions and won 8, so their record too is very good. Harvey comes on for Shannon Grant. Free kick going to the Bulldogs here.
For Shepherd, Bruce.
Shepherd was it, John? So Bulldogs will penetrate here through Darcy. It's 5-7, 5-4. There's Cook, Grant at full forward. Now breaking Grant. Darcy kicks it beautifully to him. It's a good shot we had a moment ago. The 4 of them setting themselves up in the goal square. A vacant space, and Grant accelerating, and Darcy's kick was perfect.
The only thing you can really do there as an opposition side is get back and fill in that space, but they didn't have time, North Melbourne. And the Bulldogs have actually kept them honest because they were leading to other parts of the ground away from that space. And that's good cohesive forward work.
Hasn't kicked a lot of goals in the last few weeks, Chris Grant. He's just kicked 2 goals in the last 4, but he really should score from here. And he likes it, and so do the Doggy fans. So Chris Grant gets his first. Good signs for the Bulldogs here, because North really put it to them, and they've been able to get right back and kick the last 2 through Dimatina and Grant. 6-7 to 5-4.
Just watch that study of concentration. Just a perfectly weighted kick there by Darcy into that space. The 2 Bulldog forwards, Cook and Grant, coming out from the top of the 10-metre square and finding plenty of space.
And there's a bit going on there, right on the edge of the square, on the members' side of the ground. You can see a lot of jostling and bustling by 6 or 7 players. Kicked away by Freeborn, high. Goes out towards the wing, knocked away by Roberts from Crediuk. Back goes Roberts. Didn't gather the football. Crediuk grabbed him by the jumper. Umpire saw that as all fair and above board. Well done by Martin Pike. His determination led to him getting a kick up towards Shoal. Handball back, kicked out of mid-air, and the finish by Freeborn. Darcy does well, punches it back for a boundary throw-in.
And what's happening is Libba is trying to pick up King, and Scott is now trying to pick up Libba. So it's going to develop into a battle of wills.
Robbo, with those grabs, whether the public like it or not, the umpires are told that if it's a momentary grab, they're to call play on.
Fair enough, John. Clarification on that incident with Mark Roberts. McKernan not happy with that decision given against him from the boundary throw-in. Luke Darcy, very skillful big man. Nice kick too, and it's well marked by Grant. Grant coming up for his 9th kick. He's very wide, tries to get past King. King just making him go back onto his left, but he does it impeccably at the face there of Brad Johnson. Johnson coming up for kick number 11. Hudson provides the lead. Johnson is a long way from goal. 2 kicks. He's right in front of the North Melbourne entrance onto this ground where the Kangaroos players enter the MCG. Pike is marked at centre-half back. Looking to move the ball quickly, Martin Pike. Goes in short. Taken here by Stevens. He's got the opportunity to bounce once and then kick out wide, very wide. Blakey not able to take the mark. Rowan Smith did well. So did Croft. Got the ball to Ramiro. Ramiro's left foot kick towards half forward. It's marked there by Archer. Forced to play on in the finish because his momentum was such. Kicks towards half forward. Good mark taken by Croft. Runs away from Carey. Puts some pressure on the North Melbourne skipper. The ball in half forward, good knock by Archer. Sets it up for Pickett. Pickett just blazes away, kicks it blindly into the middle of the ground. Good spoil by West on Simpson. Chance for Abraham. Blocking here again, is it? And Abraham's kicked it away, which means it's a 50-metre penalty.
The umpire obviously considering that Abraham knew that it was a free kick to the Western Bulldogs, and in that circumstance, if he kicks the ball after the free kick is awarded, the 50-metre penalty will be applied.
It was a soft free kick though too.
Did you see what it was
by
called
Roberts?
into?
Yeah, Roberts interfered with West. It really was a soft free kick. Not, I mean, it was definitely there. What I'm saying was a soft free kick by Roberts to actually give away.
It's such an important time too, Tim, isn't it, really?
Well, they're critical, aren't they, Dipper, in the middle of the ground too.
Well, it's going to give West the chance, but he hand passes away to Cameron. Cameron off the left, goes for goal, and he puts it through for the Bullies. Well, again, Scotty West, obviously, not confident in getting the distance from 50. The little hand pass, how Cameron was allowed to make position here. We're going to have a look at the free kick in the first place.
Yeah, it was just across the shoulder. West made as much as he possibly could of it. Just watch this again from another angle. Here's Roberts coming in now. Just really, actually it wasn't much of it. It really shouldn't have been paid. It looked worse the other angle, but once again, just giving the ball off to somebody who can kick long distances.
Cook on the phone, talking to Terry Wallace. They've been very good all year, the Bulldogs, and just giving off either by a little kick or a handball. We saw it happen with Koliniuk here the other night, an important one, and Chris Grant gave one to Koliniuk at Optus against Geelong when it was important too. Wine. So they've got back their lead that they had at quarter time, the Bulldogs here, after North threw everything at them, and Carey kicked 2 huge goals. So this is a great sign for the Bulldogs close to half-time.
They're a well-drilled side, aren't they, Bulldogs? They do a lot of intelligent things. Players knowing that they can't kick certain distances, other players making it their business to get into those spaces, as we see James Cook just making a point there to Steve Koliniuk on the bench.
Montgomery's gone to full forward, Tim, on Archer, so that's an interesting matchup. A very different player to Cook, so the athleticism of Montgomery opposed to Archer now.
And I think that what Montgomery will be doing is actually playing a lot different than Cook too. He'll be probably prepared to drag Archer right up the field because he does have superior fitness to James Cook.
Dipper?
Yeah, spot on, Tim. I was about to say that. He just snuck on too. He just went to the goal square, and Archer took about 40 seconds before he picked him up.
7-7-5-4 here. Back in the centre. A heap of players around the ball. Wirrell's kick smothered by Pike. He's going to get a free kick. North giving a lot of free kicks away.
That one paid for holding the man, Bruce.
And they're making them pay here. Ramiro, he's got Martin on the run who can go here. He's a fantastic athlete. Trying to run him down, Harvey. Martin's kicked right to the goal square. Big fly from Montgomery. Hudson with the chance. And he'll get another free kick. Oh, North. I reckon Dennis Payne was just about jumping out of the box here.
The reason this one was paid, Bruce, is Paul Hudson didn't actually take possession of the ball, yet Martin Pike did grab him. So
how many goals? Sorry, John. I wonder how many goals they've got directly from free kicks in this match tonight.
4.
4 goals, is it?
I reckon it's 4 goals, Bruce. 2 in the first quarter.
That's definitely a free kick, that one, Duncan. The Bulldogs have probably been on the right end of the last 6 free kicks.
Hudson to kick his third, and they're going to stretch it now. What's hotter, the footy at the moment or Dennis Pagan?
Perhaps Dennis Pagan. But once again, it was a free kick in the centre of the ground, and that's where the Bulldogs broke. And at the end of the day, it was this kick out wide to Ramiro that really set it up, and then Martin rang on to the space, just losing Byron Pickett, who was coming down the centre of the ground, and that kick there always had the North Melbourne defence in trouble.
Well, already Paul Hudson, who's before tonight had kicked 50 goals for the Western Bulldogs this year, and presently has kicked 3 out of 8. A struggle for centre clearance again. Martin, he might be successful. Ramiro dispossessed by Freeborn.
Free kick against Michael Martin, penalised for incorrect disposal. In the umpire's opinion, he threw it rather than handballed.
So the free kick for North Melbourne to be taken by Peter Bell in the middle of the ground. He'll kick the Kangaroos to within scoring range. Well done by Croft on Carey. He's doing a pretty good job. Harvey dispossessed. West out wide. Chance for Dent. The little kick is good to Martin. very composed, the Bulldogs, just before half-time. 2.5 minutes left in the first half, and they, oh, good mark, excellent mark to Montgomery. Looks to play on, waited the hand pass for Cameron. He backs himself, he'll run away from Archer, and then kick towards half-forward. Beautiful kick to Hudson. Confident footy by the Bulldogs.
They're starting to win those inner circle contests once again, though, as we just see off the ball a bit, David King and Jose Ramiro just having a discussion about the state of play, but the Bulldogs have gained superiority again.
Watch how to kick a goal. Paul Hudson style from about 30 metres out. He has missed. Well, that's his worst kick for the year.
Hey, Robbo, you know you've been commentating for a long time now. When you give a player a rap like that, what's going to happen?
You just put your boot in your mouth instead of saying something. 56 plays, 34, close to the long break. North Melbourne versus the Bulldogs. The kick-in has been marked by Stevens.
They need one, don't they, the Kangaroos? Just before the break, Pickett's kick wide, not particularly good. Johnson's got it. It's a terrific mark. There's an average old kick from Byron Pickett. 12th kick coming up for Johnson. Hobbling a bit. Delivers to centre half forward. Grant the target with Montgomery. Bit of a shield there by Grant, was clever, but Montgomery unable to take it. Stevens chased hard by West. He had no one to kick it to, and he played the line pretty well, Anthony Stevens, and found it in front of our commentary position. A very big crowd in attendance.
Bruce, you mentioned the free kicks in front of the goal. I gave one to Jose, two to Hudson, and of course Scotty West got that 50-metre to Leon Cameron. So
we've been told officially 3 directly from free kicks that they've scored from the Bulldogs, and 2 indirectly from midfield free kicks. So they've done well in that area. Croft belts it back to 50. Grant and McCartney, an important bounce. McCartney straight to the line, and a boundary throw in. 8-8 to 5-4. I don't think North can afford to give away another goal before half-time. Remember, the Bulldogs have won 17 out of 21 last halves this year. Johnson's off the ground. Olympic, so they're the best finishing team in the comp, and they've got a 3-goal lead. A 3 and a bit. West did well. High. Grant getting underneath. Kept his eye on it. Pickett's got it. Can they rebound here? Gets it to King. He could be the right man. He's going to try and carry the ball down the ground. 3 bounces. Now he just pops it up over the top. Pike's a runner too. Gets the bounce. Will he go over the top to Capuano? No. Delivers. They want a McKernan mark. Oh, he gives a free kick away. Just went too early. And away come the Bulldogs. And they charge away as Smith kicks the ball down the centre. West punches on. This is Martin's speed, which is very dangerous. The time is ticking away. Martin doesn't know that. He wants to give it off. He still wants to give it off. He's 60 metres out. Last mark of the first half. Which way does it go? It doesn't go anywhere. But the Bulldogs have taken the points. They had North Melbourne up against the ropes. Not down, not out. But really, that is for sure. They have really given it to North Melbourne after Carey's 2 goals, and they hold the advantage at half-time, and it's a pretty good one. It's 8-8 to 5-4.
And just that last passage of play was a great example of the way the Western Bulldogs are playing. They got back in numbers. They knew that North Melbourne was not going to go short on their way through, and the Western Bulldogs a great advantage at half-time.
So the Bulldogs to the left, Cook back on. He spent a fair bit of the second quarter on the interchange. Had 5 shots for goal in the first half for 1-4. So Friday night football recommences here. The second half of this big game between the 2 top teams in the competition. Clearly the 2 top. Ramiro goes off the ground to Scholl. I'll tell you some interesting stats in a moment, courtesy of Champions. They kick the ball back to centre half forward, marked by Smith. In the uncontested marks, it was 2-1 in favour of the Bulldogs in the first half. Contested marks 4-1 in favour, and in short kicks 3-1. They had all the answers in the first half.
Bell was good there.
Very good, wasn't he? Up and under as he goes with a long handball. Pressure here on Scott. Not a good choice there. And Martin, who's paced late in the second quarter, worried North Melbourne. Squeezes wide to Cook. Goes to ground. Archer jumps over him quickly. Gets back. Archer's handball look away was good. Taken by Stevens. Would have been a free kick anyway. Stevens in the back pocket. Delivers up towards centre wing. King worked underneath of it. Libba was hanging on to him. King was unlucky, I reckon. Roberts couldn't get rid of it. Good tackle by North there on the Bulldogs. And it's going to be a bounce down at centre wing.
Talk about coaching teams, I reckon Terry Wallace with Libber on David King. He is a key player. He has been for the whole year. And David King, just 3 kicks and 1 hand pass.
Clearly should have been a free kick to David King in that instance for being held by Libber.
So the bounce of the ball, and it goes forward to McCartney for North Melbourne. He kicks it back into the middle. It's taken here by Simpson, the hand pass to Freeborn. He's got that little bit of pace to get away. Got the handball to Roberts. This is what North Melbourne want. They want a mark and a goal early, and they might get it here through Matthew Capuano.
And they would have discussed that at half-time, the fact that when they brought the ball forward, Scotty Winders dropped off the pack and guarded the 10-metre square. On that occasion, they looked up. Roberts saw that Wind had gone back. He was there all alone, and he just chipped the ball out to the side there where Matthew Capuano had stationed himself. And that's good play, and I'm sure they concentrated on that at half-time.
Well, you would think in today's football he just has to capitalise. He shoots for goal. He shoots long, but inaccurately. Scores are behind. So bad miss there for North Melbourne. Just a behind to Capuano, their 5th. 5-5 plays 8-8. 21 points is the margin in favour of the Bulldogs. You see the jostling going on. Dimatina and Bell. Darcy leading Shoal astray as Cameron prepares to kick in. Goes beautifully down the throat of Johnson. Johnson out very wide in the area of Martin and Scott. Martin knocks it forward to his own advantage and then kicks off the ground for a throw-in just outside 50 metres.
And you'd be reasonably happy with that, wouldn't you? You've carried the ball from you deep in your own defence to half-forward. Just watch this again. It was a foot race, but Martin really had too much pace for Scott, just soccering the ball off the ground. They've been very good in these stationary throw-in clearances. The Western Bulldogs have taken control of the ball 12 times to 3 in the first half from these types of situations.
McCartney gets the front posse from Grant, and eventually Mark West appealing for the free kick.
Those stats coming to us courtesy of champion data tonight.
56 plays 35, another boundary throw-in, perhaps a little further away than the previous one, in front of a magnificent Great Southern stand that has a huge crowd. There's probably 60,000 people here tonight. The match between the top side and the second team in the AFL to decide top spot after the 22 rostered games. Pickett has the football. He's in the left back pocket for North Melbourne. He'll kick it wide. Not quite to the wing, but a good mark taken by Capuano. These are the players, Capuano, McKernan and Carey, that just have to start taking marks and getting goals. Gathered by McKernan. Over the top to Roberts. He may be outrun by Ramiro. Ramiro gets the hand pass away. Shoal having a bit of an impact early in this third quarter. He's kicked towards Carey, knocked away by Croft. Chance for Harvey. Harvey shot for goal. He's a goal to North Melbourne. Just what the doctor ordered. They had a chance a few moments ago through Capuano. He kicked it behind, but Brent Harvey has kicked the first goal of the second half.
And that's only one of a few times we've actually seen North Melbourne set themselves up in a forward situation like they found themselves here. Good play there by Roberts just to disarm Romero of the ball, and Shoal to kick that to the one-on-one contest there. And there was Harvey just camping at the bottom of that pack, and that's what they'll have to do.
Harvey's goal, 6-5-8-8. It was interesting, Roberts didn't give the free kick away in the centre. He would have in the first half. I reckon, you know, they've obviously talked about the fact they just gave too many free kicks away, whether you think they're there or not. Ramiro tries to take it. Libber's handball was terrific. Hudson's look-away handball was equally as good. It releases Dimatina, who belts it forward. Cook and Archer. Archer's got it. Free kick, is it? Down. What's happened? It's coming back.
The free kick's coming back. So obviously Stevens was unfairly dealt with after the ball left, so the ball comes back.
Sorry, John, he's quickly on to Pike between centre wing and half forward. Carey leads short. Croft's done a great job on Carey tonight. Pike kicks to the pocket. He's looking for McKernan. He couldn't quite get a run at it. Crediuk had him. McKernan tried off the ground. Getting back was Wirra, and it's a boundary throw-in. 41-56. There's Curley, who hasn't had a run tonight. He's one player who hasn't been on the ground. Getting ready to come on.
Crediuk picking up McKernan, so that is a mismatch in height.
Wind and Capuano. Short throw in, and Wine was happy, I think, just to build it back and go again. Anthony Rocker, who hasn't had much impact tonight. Hewitt, who came in for Mickey Martin, who we believe has got a bit of a groin injury. There's Pike and Smith. So the Bulldogs have beaten North both times that Terry Wallace has coached them. in 97 and 98. Pick up there by Simpson, I think. And as he pushed, he kicked, and the ball hit the post. So Scott West brings it back in, 56 to 41, 6-5 to 8-8.
Scotty West with the football in the right back pocket. A bit of a wobbly old punt kick. And that's a mark, is it, to Stevens? Very well done. Stevens has got the ball 50 metres from goal. North Melbourne, men on a mission. They must get another goal quickly. Wine gets back. Credihook knocks it to the front. West comes away with the footy. Not bad vision either. It was a beautiful kick for the Mark West. Scotty West to Mark West. His kick towards half forward, punched away by Robert Scott. The race on again between the two speedsters, Martin and Scott. Back goes Martin, and Scott does well, doesn't he? He smothers off the boot and forces a boundary throw in, much to the delight of his teammate, Byron Pickett. These are the sort of things that can inspire one or two of your teammates. And it looks like a bit of an arm wrestle early in the third term. And North Melbourne need to keep charging. Pickett down to Ramiro. Left foot kick by that player. Two half forward. Punched away by Carey. Gathered here by Hudson. Hudson across the line. Beautiful kick. Out in the path of Liberatore. He'll be run down by David King. And King makes the ball his target. Gathers nicely. And then hooks it across his left shoulder. Just sets it up for Carey. Carey with some space in front of himself. He can go all the way. 3 bounces. He can have 6. He's had 4 already. Getting up close to half forward. He'll kick in towards full forward. At the back, 1 on 3. Pike nearly took it. Croft is the tackler, and the umpire will bounce.
Yeah, it's a good effort.
It did look as though he did take it, didn't it, Tim?
It did. He got a fair purchase on the ball. Just watch this again. Just flying with 2. Did he control the ball? No.
No, it's come down.
It's come to a ball up about 25 metres out from the North Melbourne goal. They trail by 15 points. It's going to be a big effort by both sides. Bell! Snapshot for goal by Peter Bell. He's hooked it too far, and it is out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the Western Bulldogs to be taken in the right back pocket by Brad Wirra.
Goes wide to half-back. The pattern of the first 2 quarters. The first half was that the Bulldogs finished over North at the end of both the first 2 terms. They kicked the last 4 goals of the first half after North had hit the front. So North with the early goal here. Darcy kicks in the curly direction. Robert Scott brought down. Handball out under pressure. Scotty West had to give it up and gave it up to Scholl. Scholl kicks back to centre half forward. Abraham front spot. Cameron. Pike pushes forward. Cameron, who had some magic moments in the first half. Mark West fell. Slipped, I should say. And the ball had gone out of play. So bad luck there for North.
And 2 players for North Melbourne who need to lift, David King and also Winston Abraham. Both of those players have been stifled tonight.
Capuano and Wine. Capuano probably won it down. Mark West has got hold of it. Went without it in the end. Abraham back to West. Back to Wirra. Wirra off no run up at all. Gets it as far as Stevens. Taken by Pickett. Clever to Carey. Carey on his left foot. Kicks the ball up high. Roberts underneath. Wine. Capuano came in to make a contest. Wirra quickly kicks the way. Good mark by Carey at the back against Martin. So Carey playing deep early in this quarter and getting a fair bit of it.
Don't mind that. He's getting hold of the football, which is going to give him a lot of confidence.
Just gone for a run on the ball.
My word, yep.
Centre wing. 6-5 to 8-8. Again, not a great kick this time. Straight up, really. He wants McKernan or Capuano. Darcy at the back. Pike cleverly got it through. Taken by Simpson. Simpson's kick's a good one. This will be interesting. It's bouncing. Freeborn couldn't get a hold of it. It ran away.
Still in play.
Gee, it obviously was. Freeborn bringing it back. And the goal umpire now signalling a behind. So it's 6 goals 6 to 8 goals 8. Have a look at this. Terrific angle of this. It looked to us as if it was going over the line, over the line.
Yeah, the ball has to be completely
So,
over, Bruce.
pretty good call.
Yeah, I think you're
And
right.
I think Paul Di Martino might have thought that it had gone through, and if there had been a North Melbourne player there, it might have been very interesting. Stevens gathers, kicks it back. It'll be a North Melbourne mark. Taken by Pike. Kick the first goal. He'll give this one away, and McKernan will get the goal. And North Melbourne are in this game. It's a game of footy at the MCG. Don't worry about that. Never discount that team, North Melbourne. They might have looked down and out. 22 points in arrears at half-time. They've kicked the first 2 goals of the second half.
Just a wonderful tackle here by Winston Abraham. You talk about the fact that he hasn't touched much of the ball tonight, but if you continue to do those small things, it's amazing how you work your way back into a game of football. And I don't know whether I'd be doing that. I'd be playing the percentages in a situation like that.
7-6 to 8-8. Pike getting it to McKernan to kick the goal. Going early, Capuano did win it. Chris Grant, who had a big first half, got a high tackle in the end. Sort of ran into it, didn't he?
It's another soft free kick to be giving away in the centre of the ground.
Grant goes in the Cook direction, and Ramiro, Archer took the chance he had to. Couldn't quite pull it off that time. Ramiro gets it back, did it cleverly. Colin kicks to the pocket, not well. In fact, a poor effort, and Pickett's got hold of it. Now he needs to carry it across the ground. He does, gives it all he's got, and he's got a padding here to Freeborn, who can go on, decides not to. Capuano is there, Simpson short for him. He kicks across the ground, slightly dangerously. Finds McCartney, who had his hands full in the first half with Grant. Pushes on. Pike's been important. Gives it across. Taken by Simpson. Little low one. Finessed it a bit for Roberts. Roberts pushes forward. Belts it into the pocket. Taken by Harvey. Harvey kicks, and Harvey has put it through. They're within a kick. His second. He's kicked 30 goals for the season, the little fella. It's 8-6 to 8-8. He's the 4th North Melbourne player to kick 30 goals this year, and the Kangas are coming.
And we spoke about at the start of this quarter about how they had to shake themselves free in the forward line and just get players at the fall of the ball. They got a bit of freedom in the midfield on that occasion. Just by breaking it up, they went short instead of long. And it was a good knock into space there by Roberts. Good body work by Harvey too to get rid of his opponent.
Well, it was a clever kick by Brent Harvey. He's kicked his second goal in this quarter. And it looks like, is there an infringement here? No, Freeborn directing traffic, maybe to one of his teammates. Scotty Wine now has got to regroup with his troops. North Melbourne have come at the Bulldogs in the early part of the third term. They've kicked 3 goals to Bulldogs still scoreless in this third term so far. Stevens underneath the pack there, Ramiro and Scotty Wine.
Just interesting the way the Bulldogs spread themselves out in the centre bounces too. Most players or most sides historically have played a player behind the ruckman, and the Bulldogs just spread themselves out so they actually cover each of the spaces around the circle in the centre.
North Melbourne ranked 1st in attack, and the Bulldogs, well, by gee, they've been close, haven't they? I think Bruce mentioned there's only percentage, not even a percentage point between the two of them at the top of the ladder, and they're ranked 1st and 2nd in the AFL of the 16 teams. Dennis Pagan just relaxing, and on the other hand, the anxiety of the opposite coach. Well, he looks as though he is sitting back there,
just smoking the pipe.
Body language doesn't tell you anything there, Tim, in the coach's box. Capuano, well done, down to Stevens. Pickett together, can't get rid of the football. In there, Hudson, Wind and Cameron combined. Cameron's kick will bounce awkwardly away from the players at half forward. Grant and McCartney. McCartney gets rid of Grant. Carey getting a few touches, important for North Melbourne. His kick down the line is good, and finds Stevens, who's been terrific. King injured, in the hands of the doctor. Kick forward there by Anthony Stevens. It lands at half forward, gathered here by Rowan Smith. It'll go bounding back. The Bulldogs midfielder Rowan Smith kicks the ball to half forward, goes through the players. They must get a goal here. It's Stephen Colin that gets the Bulldogs' 9th goal. There's the answer that the Bullies needed, a goal to Colin. They lead once again by 8 points, 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Well, King appears to be in a little bit of trouble there. We'll see if we can dip it down to the North Melbourne bench and find out a little bit more information about it. But this was just simply a matter of having numbers at the fall of the ball there. 3 against 1. Archer trying to hold back Cook, and then Collingwood and Grant ready to pounce on that ball. But it all started from half back again when they won control of the ball after a contested mark situation.
So the Bulldogs bounce back, don't they? 9-8 to 8-6 as they've done all night. Ramiro's handball out. Finds Garlick in the end. Garlick's in trouble. Coughed it up. taken by Craigshaw. Off the side of the boot. Dent running hard and Freeborn running just as hard with him. Gives him a little push. Well played by Freeborn. Under pressure though from Croft, who's been terrific. And the ball was out of play, and it's a boundary throw-in. He whacked into the fence, didn't he, Glenn Freeborn then, and picked himself up. Had a huge grand final in the second quarter in '96. Here's a replay of Freeborn going into the fence here. Belting in. Missed there by Freeborn. Dent's kick back. At the back was Abraham. Curley at the front. Carey gets it to Stevens, having a big turn. Stevens gets around onto the old trusty left foot. Kicks to centre half forward. Goes for Shoal. Well done, Darcy. Well done, Liver. Well done, Smith, to back him up. This is where they've been so dangerous. Wonderful kick to Grant. He's got him. A super mark. That was the Cameron kick all over again from the second quarter, wasn't it? It just kept on going.
So much depth.
This was a fantastic mark.
The only chance McCartney had was to gather Grant early, but there was just too much carry on the kick. A wonderfully deep and penetrating kick from half back, and that's the second example we've seen of a kick of that magnitude in the last couple of minutes of play, and both to set up goal-scoring opportunities.
This is his distance. He really should kick this. He's kicked one tonight. He's played a big match so far, Chris Grant, and this will give the Doggies a nice little cushion. And he's drilled it home for his second. The big man kicks the big goal. 10-8 to 8-6. And for all North Melbourne's work, just like the second quarter, the Bulldogs respond.
Yes, it was a terrific effort, wasn't it, by Grant? He's become very much a big match player, and he's kicked a big goal here. Second goal to the key. Well, we wonder what's happening there with David King, and
Robbo, he's just taking a walk.
dipper.
He's just taking a walk at the moment. It looks like a severe corky, but the doctors are certainly working on him, and he's just trying to free the corky up at the moment.
Simpson tries to crash his way through. Capuano gets an effective clearance, and it's well marked by Freeborn. He's a lively player, Glenn Freeborn. Back to Simpson. His kick high towards full forward. McKernan gets around the back. Snuck in there, got a little important touch to it. They'll happy to hurry it through for a rush behind North Melbourne, the Bulldogs' defence. King still trying to free up whatever injury he has suffered. Dent goes in short, finds Crediuk. Crediuk in the left back pocket, kicks it out wide. Darcy just spoiled there well by Shoal. Freeborn beautifully tackled by Croft. Ball spills there for Martin to Cameron. Little hand pass good. This is Darcy. Gets an effective kick away to half forward. Grant turns McCartney inside out. Still Chris Grant. Handball away. Collinute spent a fair bit of the first half on the bench. Brilliant smother again by Scott. And his kick not marked by Pickett. Really had no intention. Carey goes to the boundary line. And was that disguised? According to the umpire, it's all okay.
And I agree with the umpire, Rob. I mean, there's no way you could penalise Wayne Carey for deliberate out of bounds then.
Interesting stat there. North Melbourne have had most of the play, 13 times inside their forward 50 against the Western Bulldogs 8. They've had 14 marks so far in this term. They only had 11 for the first quarter and 10 for the second quarter. Mark not taken. James Cook will have a shot for goal, and he'll miss.
Free kick paid for a push.
So
against James Cook is signalling. So Jason McCartney will take it.
Should that be 50?
Well, he'll only pay 50. Here it is again, Tim. Now, the free kick was paid for a push according to signal. So that was what was penalised for a push in the back. Now, the only way he'll pay 50, Tim, is if he believes that the Bulldogs knew that it was a North free kick.
Well, it went to Archer, and his kick goes out towards the wing. Kick forward again by Shoal, who's had quite a bit of the football in this third quarter. Magnificent mark to Simpson. A bit of an unsung hero at North Melbourne, Adam Simpson. He does well and kicks it inside the forward 50. Back goes Wine. Couldn't take the mark. A free kick going to North Melbourne.
Again for a push in the marking contest, Robbo.
And it'll go to Blakey.
I did think the last one was a bit soft, and that's another one that I reckon's a bit soft, and Johnny Blakey really milking that for all he could, and as a result of successfully milking it, lining up for a shot at goal from straight in front.
And he's going for his second goal, John, from about 35 to 40 metres out directly in front. He's missed. 1 goal, 2 against John Blakey's name. Go, Dip.
Yeah, Cookie's off the ground now for the Doggies, and Montgomery's back on, and David King's certainly starting to move a bit freer now.
Thanks, Dipper. 2-goal game here. Chris Grant just having some attention to his hand again, I think. What a big game he's having. There's all danger. Rowan Smith held his ground, and this is typical of him. He's just charges away and then delivers to Ramiro. They've been so good on the burst and the break. Liver back in board to Cameron. Cameron wide to Crediuk. Crediuk takes Pickett on too easily to Liver. Liver unloads to full forward. Archer has to hold his ground. Montgomery. Grant has 4 goes at it. Can't quite. He was the second man there. Brilliantly done. Hudson's a wonderful finisher. Just misses. Chris Grant having a huge impact at centre-half forward. Hudson with 3 goals too. Cook's kicked 1 goal, 4, and it's 10-9 to 8-8. Every time they burst, and Rowan Smith is so often the man to do it, they put North Melbourne under extreme pressure.
They just love to control the tempo of the game, don't they, the Bulldogs? They're very hard to keep up with.
Shannon Grant belts it out, wants Capuano. Big fly. Also there was McCartney. Comes to ground. And Capuano puts the tackle on Chris Grant, and it's going to be a ball up. There's David King, who might be getting a bit freer, as Dipper said, as if he might have been heavily caught.
Well, this game is very much in and under, and you'd want all players out there to be 100% fit, because the campaign over the next 4 weeks is going to be equally as tough as this. So maybe North Melbourne having 2 and 3 and 4 looks at David King on the boundary line.
Robbo, have a look at this Shannon Grant kick in and watch where his planted foot is. It's not allowed to touch the line.
Certainly an infringement.
Yep.
Not noticed by goal umpire or central umpire. Now we have a bounce about 55 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. A scramble there for possession, and it's locked up by Ramiro and Anthony Stevens for a bounce.
Yeah, Robbo,
sorry,
Tim, you just mentioned the fact that there's another 4 or 5 weeks to go, but I don't think they'll take the risk with Kingy on the bench here.
And North Melbourne pushing all their forwards up to centre-half forward. Rowan Smith actually dropping off John Blakey. He's given John Blakey about 20-30 metres in front of him, and he just wants to guard that space behind Wayne Cleary at centre-half forward.
Pike gets a quick kick. Harvey not quite. Garlick with him. Taken by Crediuk. Crediuk's left foot wide to half forward. Pike's there with Hudson. Out of bounds, boundary throw-in.
And Crediuk's become an important player too, Bruce. He's actually playing on McKernan. McKernan can't go with him for agility and flexibility, and Crediuk is now becoming an important player running off Corey McKernan across half forward.
North Melbourne's played plenty of night matches this season, particularly late in the year, and they've won 6 out of their 7. In fact, both these teams are unbeaten on Friday night football. North 4 out of 4, and the Bulldogs have won their 2. Both of them here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground against Collingwood and Essendon prior to this. Wine did well to Hudson. Pushed out again by Libber. Just doing the small things. Collingwood to Dimatina. Dimatina's high ball to full forward. Pickett gets underneath. 2 North Melbourne players. Bell got back there. Grant got a second go at it. And again, it'll be a bounce about 25 metres from the Bulldogs' goal. They've come back hard here at North. Really, the pattern's been the same in each of the terms. There's rock being worked on. North getting back into the game, and then the Bulldogs having the best of it late in the first, second, and maybe in the third quarter here. Wind over the top of it. Ball coming out. Dimatina trying to. Also, there is Ramiro and a North Melbourne player, Stevens, underneath both of them.
It's almost like a rugby scrum feed. Those sorts of...
Yeah, they don't want to let it out, do they?
No.
It's so important that the defenders hold it in, that forwards desperate to get it out. Bell eventually hacks it out of there, gathered by Simpson. He's harassed there by Scotty West. They've had an interesting duel all night, those 2 players.
Penalised for dragging the ball in, Robbo. Penalised for dragging the ball in.
Well, I wonder whether that's...
Now, the chain of events has to be, the player has to elect to drag the ball in, be tackled legally, and must not, or he's penalised for not successfully hitting it out immediately.
Well, Collingwood took the free kick, punched away by McCartney to the front of the goals. Risky. Martin will get the goal. Gee, that was straightforward stuff, wasn't it, by the Bullies? Martin. Well, North Melbourne kicked the first 3 goals of this third quarter, but it's been answered by 3 goals from the Bulldogs.
They're a clever team, the Bulldogs. There's no doubt about that. Just that handball off the Collingwood once again. That almost carried right to the goal line, put the North Melbourne defence right under pressure. McCartney couldn't get the control of the punch he wanted to. The ball went back into the dangerous zone, and Martin all alone.
So the Bulldogs hit back, 21 points the margin. It was 22 points at half-time. North kicked 3 quick goals, but the Bullies seem to have the answers. Bell knocked forward by Abraham, kicked forward by Simpson, and it's well marked by Croft. Looks to find a path for himself and then kicks with the left, back into the middle, gathered here by Bell. Kicks across the line, no mark to Scholl, kicked away by Dent, out wide. It'll bounce probably in favour here of Capuano. Eventually got his foot to the ball, kicked it in the area of Wine, gathered by Anderson. Not a bad kick, under extreme difficulty there. Croft to be happy to see it go over for a boundary throw in not far from the behind post, deep in North Melbourne's forward line. Matthew Croft, not big stats, but he's got a big job, hasn't he? He's manning up on the superstar, Wayne Carey. Carey with 2 second quarter goals. Croft, Darcy, goal is kicked. Is it Matthew Capuano for North Melbourne? So he gives them that glimmer of hope once again. It is 13 points the margin in favour of the Bulldogs.
Well, it was just too simple. It was just too simple, wasn't it? Matthew Capuano just running in.
Smart play.
That was terrific play. Just Craig Scholl appeared that he was going to take the knock, elected not to. Obviously something they've been working on during the week. They don't always come off those set plays. On that occasion it did. And it was an important goal. Up the other end of the ground, Chris Grant has gone to full forward now. He's been picked up by Archer. In fact, that change has been made. Grant's coming up now to centre half forward. Perhaps they're trying to drag Archer away from that fullback spot.
Back to 13 points. Bell goes forward. Carey launches and takes a big one for McKernan in the front. Carey at the back. Now McKernan had a shot from about here at the other end in the second quarter and kicked very badly. The North was going very well. A goal here would really lift them. It looked Carey, didn't it? I mean, no, McKernan front spot.
Bell has been important in the middle of the ground with a couple of centre clearances.
McKernan, long and hard. He's got it. It's a goal. Well, they have come back now. McKernan's kicked 3 goals in the third quarter. It's 10-8 to 11-9.
And that's a gamble and the risk you take by playing someone of Credioc's height on McKernan. Sure, you're going to have an advantage when the ball hits the ground, but that's where Corey McKernan can do the damage for North Melbourne. He's in the air. Just watch the push in the back here from Carey right on the goal line.
Credioc on screen. McKernan, look at the height advantage there. It is unbelievable, isn't it? Credioc with a big heart and a lot of determination, but that's a big job to try and contain the big North Melbourne forward, Corey McKernan, who's kicked 2 sensational goals in this third term. Martin dragged to the ground by Pickett. Umpire will come in quickly and bounce right on the centre circle.
I think what the Bulldogs, or what North Melbourne would love, is for Corey McKernan to take another couple of grabs in the air, and would almost force the Western Bulldogs then to think about even shifting Chris Grant from centre half forward to centre half back perhaps.
Cameron with the football breaks away for the Bulldogs. His kick lovely at the face of Grant. Sure-handed Chris Grant sweeps around onto his right, kicks into the pocket, too deep for Dimatina. Back went Abraham, and it's held up at right forward pocket for the Bulldogs. 7 points the margin in favour of the Bulldogs. We've got a minute left in what has been an enthralling third quarter. The battle between the first and second teams in the competition. Archer, little tap to the advantage of Scholl. Went one way and then decided to play the percentages. Back into the middle of the ground, punched away by Dent. Gathered by Ramiro, tackled by Stevens. Dimatina, a good kick. Got good distance to the square. punched away. Opportunity now for Grant. Just slips out of his grasp. In goes Bell. In goes Hudson. Back goes Johnson. Mark taken on the goal line by Capuano.
Been pretty good in this quarter, hasn't he, Capuano? Danger! Pickett's got it. Well played. And then plays on. Kicks the ball to centre wing. An important ball here. Garlick at the back at Harvey. Garlick did beautifully. Now under pressure from Abraham. Handball was good. Cameron's a good finisher. He's 52 out. He lets fly. He hooks it a bit. Archer gets back. Ball's still in play. Bell's there with Grant, and it's over the line from behind. It's good stuff.
Peter Bell's been terrific in this third quarter.
It really tunes your tummy up, doesn't it, to watch this? It's so exciting. Both teams are giving it all. What a preview we're getting to the finals here tonight. Simpson to Freeborn, to Hewitt, to Blakey. Blakey kicks to full forward. An important one here. A missed chance there. It comes down. Can Scholl get hold of it? He can't. And the Doggies have held it up. And they lead at three-quarter time, 11-10 to 10-8. But the momentum switched late. For the first time tonight, it's North that going into a break have momentum. It was the Bulldogs at quarter time, it was the Bulldogs at half time, but now North Melbourne have the momentum going into three-quarter time. 11-10 to 10-8. Dennis looks like he's doing it hard. Boy, what a game it's been. Chris Grant with two big goals. Terry Wallace, can they create history and be top of the table at the end of the minor round for the first time? Hope you took note of the banner tonight, Dipper, the Mitre 10 winner. Here we are in the last quarter of what has been an epic. 10-8 to 11-10. Let's hope we have a grandstand finish. The match deserves it. Dimartina to centre half forward. Oh, wonderful mark by Scott. We saw Simpson take a beauty in the third quarter, just as courageous. Kicks to centre wing, and that too is a fantastic mark by Dent. One thing's for certain, Tim, these two teams, the players will not give a quarter in this last term. They are so determined. And Grant's taken a beauty on Archer at centre half forward. Proppy as he picks himself up. Probably just outside his range here. I know that he's a 40-metre kick, really, 45. Could he really get onto one and set the Bulldogs alight here? He's kicked two. He's played a wonderful game. He's had a lot of the footy, hasn't he?
This normally tests him this distance too, just outside 50.
68 to 76. This would be a body blow for North. This would be a really big goal. Grant goes back. It's a good kick. It's going. He hasn't quite made it. There was nothing wrong with the kick. And Abraham, who's had a quiet one, comes away from the back pocket and delivers cheekily in the end to Freeborn at half-back.
Lively player, Glenn Freeborn. He's got the football and he goes across the line. Bit of a punt here, but it's going to be all right. Good mark taken by Bell. Gets the hand pass to Pike. Pike through the middle of the MCG. Runs into his forward half. Handball over the top. They've got a chance here. Hand pass came from Harvey to Bell. He turned back to Blakey. Blakey's kick nearly smothered by Capuano. Pressure now on Scotty Wine and Matthew Croft. And that oval ball, you wouldn't believe it, it's gone left to right or right to left through for a behind.
And Robbo, David Kick is back on the ground and he was by himself for about 30 seconds there. He's screaming for the ball.
Well, you never know. That behind might be quite crucial in the final whack-up. The kick in has been marked by Garlick. 7 points the margin in favour of the Bulldogs. Johnson providing the lead. We saw Brad Johnson with a bit of an ankle injury, it looked like, at half-time. Stevens goes back. Ramiro. Archer. Can't quite get past before stepping over the line.
And keep you up with the benches, Anthony Rock, Anderson and Hewitt and Mark Roberts for North Melbourne. And the Bulldogs, we've got Curley, Cook, Weira and Mark West.
Still the pace frenetic down there, Dip.
Absolutely red hot.
Dimartina. Pickett for North Melbourne. Back to half-foot, nearly gathered by Scholl. He's got the football. Hand pass goes out the back. Liberatore dragged down by Harvey. Not deemed as too high. Shrugging the tackle, David King. His recovery looks as though it's pretty good. Gets the hand pass and sets it up for Scholl. Scholl will go for goal. Scholl to the square. Carey at the back. it's a goal, I think. I'd say it's a goal to Carey. Well, there must have only been centimetres in that. And it is a 1-point margin in favour of the Bulldogs early in the last quarter.
Let's watch this again. Did the ball pass over the line before Carey booted? I would say the umpire is in the absolute perfect position to adjudicate that. This is not going to be as good an angle. The other one was a better angle. Wayne Carey just looking straight up at the goal umpire there, just to make sure that it was a 6-pointer.
Thrilling match here, and we look like we'll get a thrilling finish. 11-9 to 11-10. They've kicked the last 3 goals, North Melbourne. It was 11 goals to 8, deep in the third quarter. Simpson, Carey's got it. That was a good mark. It was more like a catch, wasn't it? It came in hard. I know people hate us using that terminology, but he caught it. And could he go back and drill it? This is his trademark, the big kick, the big goal.
He was always going to be a problem, Wayne Carey.
At some stage, he's going to be a problem. He's impossible to hold.
Well, his stats are pretty big. He hasn't had as many kicks up forward tonight. He got a lot at centre wing, but he has kicked 3. He's going to kick right on 50. He gets under it. It's going straight through the middle. They're in front. The Kings put him in front. He's kicked his 4 goals. I reckon he kicked 2 in a minute in the second quarter, and he's kicked 2 in a minute in the last quarter. 12-9 to 11-10.
And once again, North Melbourne getting the critical centre square break. It was terrific play by Freeborn because the ball actually rocketed into his chest. It was terrific hands in the centre of the ground. We don't have the replay on this occasion to show it, but it was just wonderful play the way he gathered the ball, then shot it forward. Wade Carey taking a terrific mark.
You couldn't possibly say they're lousy stats, could you? 12 kicks, 6 marks, 4 goals. And already 2 of those 4 coming in the all-important last quarter. Can the Bullies fight back? Forward goes Cameron. That awkward bouncing ball nearly into the hands of Collinwood. Away he goes to Grant. Beautiful tackle by Pickett. And he's going to get the free kick.
That looked very quick, Robbo. I mean, Chris Grant spun. Here we see the tackle by Pickett. Tackles him there. Grant goes for the handball. He does spin him around a long way, doesn't he? So the umpire considered that was too long and penalised him.
Well, while the replay was happening for the viewers at home, North Melbourne have got the ball all the way out nearly to the wing.
Gee, it's been a while since they've been in front, North Melbourne. Probably, look at this, the last time they played each other, the Doggies kicked 8-2 in the last quarter to win by 28 points running away. Could we see the reverse tonight? Martin kicks the ball back and high. Probably the last time they were in front was early in the second quarter when they kicked... they got 5 goals to 4 in front in the second quarter. And it's been a long, long time. So they just lead. They kick the centre wing. Dogs probably need the next one here against the flow. Smith to Martin to Garlick. Garlick wide. Grant will get it. Running onto it. But can he turn Archer inside out? No! Archer's got him. Play on call. A big play, and Chris Grant's hurt, I think.
As the tackle came from behind, Bruce has actually banged his head on the turf, and here we see Archer running in from behind Chris Grant as he takes the footy and really buries Chris Grant in his tackle, and his head bounces off either his own fist or the turf, and a bounce results.
Great camera work there with that slow-mo too, as Harvey gets the footy and kicks the centre wing. Every contest now is vital. Capuano cleverly. Which way will the ball bounce? Can Scotty West make it talk for himself? He kicks the ball to the line. Very much a North Melbourne thing, didn't he? He played the percentages and drew the ball out of play. 81-76.
Well, you'd have to suggest that the remaining 15 minutes are going to be engrossing, to say the least. Wine gets a back fist to it. Collinwood to gather. Handball away to Johnson. Looks for Ramiro. Gathers. Back to Johnson, who got up quickly and went after the footy. Left foot kick by Johnson. Grant's mark. Archer just looks a little dejected there. Certainly that ball came in quickly, and Grant in front has marked and will shoot for goal.
It's turning into a shootout between the 2 centre-half forwards. Grant and Wayne Carey. Glenn Archer just got a little bit lost on that occasion. Went back to actually lend some support to his teammate McCartney, but he really needed just to keep a little bit more concentration on Grant.
Similar stats for the two great players. Chris Grant, 10th mark, going for his third goal. Looks pretty good, and he's put the Bullies back in front. 3 goals to Grant, 4 goals to Carey. The Bulldogs lead by a point.
This is the Grant kick, but it was probably more important was the kick that actually set it up. It was the kick from the boundary line, the centering up kick. Archer, believing that it was going to go a lot deeper than where it actually was aimed, dropped off Grant and paid the price for it.
Big goal for Grant. The Bulldogs back in front, so Grant with 3 goals, Carey with 4, 82 to 81. The Bulldogs getting back the lead quickly as they did in the second quarter. Free kick down the ground, not paid. Archer belts his way through and kicks the ball forward. Smith's trap was magnificent. Good tackle on him though. Handball out wide. West did pretty well. Little kick. The little ones are going to be so important. Mark West got it from Scotty West. Delivers. The Bulldogs on the run. Ramiro in the centre to Dent. Dent could unload and kick to the goal square. Montgomery's a big jumper. He's got it. Not paid. Play on. Pipes to Pickett. Pickett breaks the tackle and delivers to half-back to Shannon Grant. Bulldog fans don't like it. Grant plays on. There's a point the difference. Stretches Blakey out wide. It wasn't actually a great kick. Blakey made a meal of it. Smith turns him inside out. Bad mistake by North Melbourne. Kicks the ball back to Montgomery. Well played, Pike. Belts it away. Montgomery a second go. Pick it onto him. Taken by Stevens. Ducks. Brilliantly done. Scott holding the footy. No, comes back to Stevens.
High tackle.
Ball. Great stuff at both ends of the ground.
Montgomery on now, and Hudson's been off for about 2 or 3 minutes there, Bruce.
Thanks, Dipper. Stevens off the side of the cherry. Kicks the ball to centre wing. McKernan should have held it. Well played, Blakey. Kicks to centre half forward. Scholl is within kicking distance. Marks at 50 metres out. He's a big long kick, Scholl.
Been a little cameo by Craig Scholl. 11 kicks and 7 hand passes going for his first goal.
Robbo, he's kicked 10 goals in the last 14 weeks only, but he has managed to kick 22 goals this season. He was very good early, kicked 5 in the opening round of the season. That's a great kick, they're back in front. Or are they? I think it's all the way, it's a goal. A thumper. McKernan, Carey and Scholl have kicked outside 50 in the last half, and North Melbourne get back the lead, 13-9 to 12-10.
And the way Scholl got the ball, as we just watched this kick come in, it's a long kick from outside 50. It did pass over the line there. We see Wayne Carey definitely over the line before he touched that ball, but the way Scholl got hold of that ball is how you actually make defenders pay when they don't sit on you. He was in front, the kick was out of congestion, and he was just sitting in front of the ball. Darcy wasn't shoulder to shoulder with him as a defender. He had already begun to go towards the space in front of Wayne Carey. We see Freeborn just having a consultation there with club doctor Harry Unglick.
It's a blood nose there, Tim.
Harvey back onto the ground. Mark West, slip little hand pass for Ramiro. In turn Cameron. Doesn't mind this, Leon Cameron. Go for goal and get a quick answer. What a magnificent kick by Leon Cameron. Second goal to the number 18 for the Western Bulldogs. And it really is a beauty, a crackerjack game. Final quarter with 12.5 minutes left. Bullies back in front, but just a point the margin.
Centre bounce breaks. Darcy just getting over the top. Quick hands there to Ramiro, not able to control the ball, but Archer not able to control Ramiro. And they are critical in a contest such as this.
Can we bottle this one and take it into the last Saturday of September? Wouldn't this do? 13-9 to 13-10. What a crackerjack game. So much like West Coast and Carlton in 1995 when the Blues refused to lie down. Coming forward, McKernan, cleverly done. Can he win it back? He has got it. Tries to get the handball, does to Harvey. Harvey over the top. Schultz, kick to no. Hit the post. Scores a level. Blow the siren. It deserves it. Well, he actually was very clever by Harvey. Shoal might have just rushed it a bit here, Timmy. He had a fair bit of space and a fair bit of time, and he hit the post. Well, what a game of footy. Garlick's got it. Belts at the centre wing. Montgomery and Pickett. Oh, Montgomery flew high and took it. Ramiro charges through and then kicks the ball to the pocket.
And after disposal, Bruce, he'll go down and Darcy will take it. Sorry, Grant will take it from where the ball landed.
Actually, it'd be great to actually go back and replay what happened there a little bit further up the ground too, because Rock just allowed Ramiro to run straight past him. All he was concerned about was West. Ramiro almost knocked him over.
Grant's going to give it off. Short, cut off by Pickett. Bouncing ball, taken by Bell. Under pressure. Can he get it out wide enough? He does. McCartney's under pressure. He coughed it up. Bulldogs are on it. Collingwood brilliantly. Hudson misses, I think.
Goal.
He's got it as he's a goal. It's a goal. Hudson's kicked for, and the Bulldogs have got the answers, haven't they? Collingwood was quick. 14-10 to 13-10.
Long way from home, Bruce. There's still 11 minutes left. This is a beauty.
Just an error here by McCartney, just turned the wrong way. He had to go towards the boundary line, spun himself back into the central part of the ground, and good turnover there by the Bulldogs forwards.
Collingwood good there. Dennis Pagan. Well, the Stimmerol getting a workout now in the last few minutes of this magnificent game of football between North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. The kick to half forward for North Melbourne. King just tries to push his way through. Freeborn releases Stevens. Stevens goes for goal. It's touched on the line by Dent. No, it's not. That's going to be a goal. Unbelievable, Anthony Stevens.
No, he touched it.
I agree with you, Tim. I know we're a lot further away, but it certainly looked as though Dent touched the ball.
Dent knows he touched it.
Yeah.
When you give a nod out in cricket, they say, go and have a look at the scorebook, Tim.
Oh, hey, no question about that. And just the way North Melbourne actually pushed the ball forward. Just watch this closely, Robbo. Okay, there's his hand, and definitely touched.
Have you seen, Tim, a more exciting quarter than our footy?
Archer coming off now with the blood rule.
Archer's off, is he, with the blood? Tim, the last quarter of an hour has been absolutely magnificent, hasn't it? At both ends of the ground. Both teams.
No doubt
It's
about
Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali.
Terrific stuff.
Madison Square Garden. It's just everything, isn't it? I mean, they refuse to budge.
They'll
The
both
hard
wake
man
up
takes
tomorrow.
off his jumper.
They'll both
puts
wake
on
up
another
tomorrow with broken jaws. They want to get him patched up and back out on the ground as quick as they possibly can. Hewitt, some of the players around the centre square actually signalling to Hewitt to go into the centre bounce.
They have got 4 in there, so...
The Bulldogs have got their spare player actually on the defensive side of the square.
Hewitt's picked up Cook. Leeds changed hands a few times in the last quarter, 5 times now. Twice we've had it all square. This is some sort of a footy match. It's an epic. A classic encounter. Ball in the centre. Which way is it going to go? Stevens has played the most magnificent second half. Harvey's off the ground. There are 44 heroes out there at the moment. Simpson's been good. Back to Stevens. Kicks down the line. Blakey couldn't take it. Croft held up. North Melbourne swarm on top of him. Taken by Abraham. He's had a quiet one. He was held on to. He didn't get a free kick. Liver goes to the line and finds it. A boundary throw in.
And I'll go into bat for the umpire on that one. I think Abraham was just trying to milk a free kick in this really tense environment, and I think the umpire correctly didn't award it and called play on.
Saw Di Martino in the background, Archer in the foreground. 50 metres from North Melbourne's goal. Scott West, freeboard, cut off brilliantly. It was dangerous. Well played by Dent. Releases Mark West. West, big long kick to Chris Grant. There's a free kick down the ground, is it?
Yeah, paid to Grant for holding prior to the ball arriving for that marking contest.
No, it's going to Chris Grant.
Yes, that's right. Paid to Grant for holding.
Against McCartney, is it?
Against McCartney, Bruce, that's right.
For holding before the ball arrived.
Archer's back on for Hewitt. So Chris Grant has kicked 3, and he has stood up very tall with these kicks for goals. Certainly 35 metres out, 45-degree angle. Scores are level. Plenty of time still. It's been a remarkable last quarter. Grant kicks for goal and scores. Kicks his fourth. The Bulldogs are back in front. 15-10 to 14-10. The official attendance, wait for it, 68,050 people. What a turnout.
Well, they've been treated. There's no doubt about that. Have a look at that kick by Chris Grant. There was no trouble for the goal umpire there, and the Bullies have the lead by that goal, kicked by Chris Grant, his fourth.
But the critical play, Robbo, was at half-back once again, where the Bulldogs grabbed the break, they turned the ball over, and they went forward, and they had plenty of space to operate in.
Luke Darcy's been good so far in this last quarter at centre bounces. Mark West with Corey McKernan. A bit of chit-chat there. The boys are still playing the percentages. Scotty West trying to break away. Underneath there, looks like it's Freeborn. And the umpire will bounce once again. No, it could have been Anthony Stevens, was it? Matthew Capuano and Peter Bell warming the bench presently. Plenty of time left, 9.5 minutes. You can see another 3 or 4 goals from each side in that amount of time.
James Cook playing right up the ground at centre wing, dragging Glenn Archer up the ground with him.
McKernan and Darcy again. Stevens trying to crash his way through. Mark West.
So important this one, Robbo. The team to get this ball out. If it's the Doggies, they could get a nice lead here. So important to get this ball out of the middle.
Reckon you're right, Tippy. You feel that North can't let the Dogs get 2 in front here. A couple's going to be a big lead at this stage.
100 plays 94. Bulldogs have the lead at the moment. McKernan gets an effective tap on. So in turn to Anderson. It's kicked forward to within scoring range. Montgomery gets back and helps out the defenders across half-back. Then kicks rather blindly, out wide, out very wide. Stevens for North Melbourne, gathered by Pike, runs down that line, kicks into the pocket at the back. Shoal got rid of Dent, and with sure hands as Mark, certainly within scoring range, looks to play on. He's being asked to do just that. Kicks the ball and kicks it into the post. Second time in the quarter for Craig Shoal. 1 goal, 2 against his name. 5 points in favour of the Bulldogs.
Well, Bruce, you said before, it's Frazier and Ali. Who's rope-a-dope and who's slugging it out?
Well, that was George Foreman. You could throw him too. That was the old rope-a-dope. Dent wide, cut off by Abraham. Now, Winnie can really go all the way. It's a thumping kick. He's kicked this one in short, and Freeborn didn't take it. The percentages were not all that good there. Dimatina belts it out wide. It won't get far enough. McKernan, well played, Montgomery. Great stuff.
If anybody wants to know what it looks like when a player's got the ball as his prime objective, they should have a look at this one where Montgomery comes from nowhere and just ferociously attacks the ball so Corey McKernan can't take the mark.
Darcy and McKernan. Blakey's got it. Handball to Anderson. Anderson's shot, not good. Going away, Carey needs a good bounce. Doesn't get it. Almost feel like Carey's going to have to kick another one, don't you, for North to win?
There's still plenty of time, though. There's only 8 minutes on the clock.
Wind.
Cook coming off.
So Cook off McKernan out of the air. Shoal running on, got a bad bounce. Dent, who was important a moment ago, kicks in short to Mark West. Wanted to give the handball off, didn't. Holds it up at centre half back. Big play this one. Comes wide to Curley. No, he's going to have to...
Won't let him go because Colin Yook was coming into the protected area, and so to avoid anything untidy happening, blue time on, and the ball will come back.
It's going to be a long quarter, no doubt about that.
And
Mark West.
The Bulldogs really working Glenn Archer over. Cook's been taken from the ground. Curley's on the ground now, and he's taken Archer right up the field. Perhaps they think he's a little bit underdone.
Mark West goes long. Bit of a funny old kick, but landed on the chest of Wind. Away to Dimatina. Montgomery. Still to kick a goal in this game, Brett Montgomery. He won't get one from this kick. You put it into the pocket. Grant couldn't take the mark. McCartney knocked it away from his teammate in the finish. Scotty West for Dimatina, taken over by Simpson. And still some tremendous play by the representatives of both these teams. It has been a fantastic struggle. 32-15 at quarter time. Bulldogs led. They led by 22 at half time. They led by 8 at 3/4 time. Hudson's little hand pass. Garlick snapshot for goal. Off to the right, through from behind. Simon Garlick's first score in the game brings the margin back to exactly 1 goal. Umpire retrieves the ball for Byron Pickett, who will kick in for the Kangaroos.
Important, all of these now. Cannot afford to make a mistake. Goes to himself and then kicks to Archer. Got him. Mark West coming in. Archer at centre half back. There's nobody forward of about 60 metres for North. They'll run into the Pagans paddock in a moment. Stevens kicks in the Carey direction. He was motionless, Carey, and Montgomery a couple of times has been able to come across in this last quarter and take the mark. Dent feeds it off. They've been terrific in this situation all night. Playing it wide, haven't they? And this time to Smith. Smith at centre wing. Usually long kick and delivers. Kite and Archer, and unable to get into the contest, Darcy, and Archer took it uncontested. Every kick so important now. Archer gets underneath it, kicks it back to centre wing. Montgomery belts it away. Roberts got hold of it, a hard ball taken by Blakey. Blakey couldn't really get an effective kick. It sits for Pickett. Pickett 70 metres out, goes for goal. Getting back is Curley, and he takes a nice mark in the back pocket. Plays on, and Ramiro's all on his own at half-back.
You wonder whether the kick by Pickett was really to the advantage of his team there, because it's going to be an important turnaround. Montgomery's got the football forward of centre wing, goes into the middle. Liberatore chopped off by Anthony Rock. By gee, the pace is still there. It's really being played at a very, very high standard. Stevens with the football. Could have taken the punt and gone across the line, coughed it up. And Darcy is marked at centre half back for the Bulldogs.
Scotty Wine off now and Cook back on.
Thanks, Dipper. Luke Darcy, he spotted James Cook as well. The kick's going to fall short. Oh, the VC of football to Robert Scott. Unbelievable bravery. Cook might be reported here.
Yes, he's reported him. We see it here. James Cook, Scotty takes the mark, and James Cook just runs through him with everything tucked in. Certainly everything tucked in, it appears.
Is it 50 metres, John?
Yeah, the 50-metre penalty will be paid as well, I'd suggest, because the contact was momentarily late. And here we see the 50 being applied now live.
Good on you, Scotty.
Charging includes violently meeting an opponent when he has just taken a mark or in a marking contest. So the tribunal, once again, will have to determine whether that contact can be construed as violent. That's not for us to decide.
This to level the scores if he kicks the goal.
Fantastic stuff by Robert Scott. Come on, Scotty, just cap it off and kick a goal. This crowd, 68,000 here at the MCG. And they'll stand to their feet, I'm sure. They watch with anticipation as Scott lines up from about 35 metres. The angle not all that difficult. Scott goes in, and Scott gets the goal, scores a level again. What a game of footy we've seen here tonight. 15-11 apiece, 5 minutes left. Last game, first versus second.
Here we see Darcy's kick leading up to when Robert Scott actually flies for the mark, and we won't see the contact from James Cook again, given there's been a report. But Scotty perched under that to take the mark, and James Cook comes in from behind him.
We're getting closer to the finish now. Back to level for the third time in the final term. Magnificent match. Darcy caught up. Abraham out of the centre. Quick high kick, doesn't go far. Blakey made a contest. Well done, Rowan Smith to Mark West. Bouncing ball. Archer trapped it superbly. Gave it off to King. Wonderful football. Inside to Anderson. Had to hurry because Grant was there. Well played by Garlick. Garlick onto it. He was cut off. Scott again getting involved. Bringing down the Bulldog player. Handball back to Carey. Carey builds it back. McKernan underneath it. He was thumped at the back. Pick it over the top. North the back in front. Grant's kicked it. The Kangaroos are in front. It's unbelievable. unbelievable here. One of the greatest last quarters of football in the history of the game, I reckon.
I can't remember seeing a better quarter of football, and I reckon the umpires must have swallowed their whistles in the last passage of play here, because I certainly thought there was about 3 free kicks that should have been paid.
Six goals to 4 so far in this last quarter. 6 goals to North Melbourne, 4 goals to the Bulldogs. It certainly has loosened up. 8 points was the advantage to the Bulldogs at three-quarter time. It is a goal in favour of North Melbourne with 4.5 minutes left. The big crowd have certainly come to life. McKernan grabbed by the leg, got the hand pass away. Archer just smothered, but gets it back. Archer kicks it forward. The momentum with the Kangaroos, gathered by Croft from centre half back, bounces away from that area, kicks it to within scoring distance, punched away by David King. Magnificent defensive work, and in they go again. It's taken by Harvey. Simpson was in there. Simpson penalised for throwing the ball. It goes to Garlick. Garlick across the line. Is that Scotty again? No, it's McCartney, dispossessed. James Cook, the little hand pass for Cameron. It's excitement personified at the MCG. Cameron's kick hits the post. You wouldn't believe it. It's a 5-point ball game.
Well,
2 goals, 1 to Leon Cameron.
They would have needed 1 goal, 1 to win anyway, so which order they get it in, I suppose it doesn't really matter.
If you take the ball all the way back to that centre bounce again, are you allowed to grab hold of someone's foot?
No, not allowed to tackle below the knee.
That's what happened.
I would have thought that would have been a free kick.
Well, the other thing too, the clock here shows almost 30 minutes. Most of the public and the players must think there's about a minute to go, and there's a fair bit more than that. They're in for a shot. Archer's kick wide. 5 points the margin. McKernan high. Crofts had a good last term, even though Kerry kicked a couple. West and Simpson, and a boundary throw in.
Darcy back on for the Western Bulldogs. Liberatore off and going to centre half forward.
But this is one of the great ones, isn't it?
It's a great game, Bruce. Great game by both these sides.
Dennis Pagan and Terry Wallace, between them, have never coached in a drawn match. Neither have coached a drawn match. And I wonder tonight if we could get one. It's 107 to 102. What a way to start the final weekend of the home and away season. Archer to Scott, little toe poke was clever. To Abraham. Abraham cheekily kicks the ball back to Pickett. Bouncing ball eludes him. Taken by Montgomery. He's had a big last quarter. Didn't get a kick away. Simpson's kick. Here's a chance. Carey's on his own. Takes the mark. Yes. He'll nearly kick it. It might be a metre or two too far, but he'll nearly dob it. He's kicked 4. He is a huge kick. He looks as if he fancies himself. Super slow-mo reverse angle on the mark. It's a good effort by Credial. Carey put his foot out to stop him. Well, Quinn, the biggest man in the game, the king of the AFL, kicked arguably the biggest goal of the season. He's trying to torpedo. He's kicked 3 in the second half. And this footy team, which just refuses to die, look like they might win their 9th in a row. It's 17-11 to 15-12.
Well, we have just been treated to something special tonight, Bruce. And I hate stealing your word, but this has been a classic of the likes I have not seen in the last decade.
Someone coming off the blood rule. I think it's Scotty.
Now Robert Scott's coming off.
Looks like it's coming off. Important here, Dipper. So Capuana's going to have to go back on. So both Scott and McKernan have come off with plenty of time ready for the doggies.
Scott looks like he's in trouble too. His left shoulder, the doc's looking at him now, the AC joint.
Well, he was brave, Dipper, in that marking contest, and it might have been then that he could have suffered that injury.
Just an interesting one. The coaches will know how long to go. The players will have no idea. The clock says nearly 33 minutes, but there is a fair bit longer than most people feel. I wonder if they can get a message out there to them.
Well, the runners are both out there, Bruce, right now, the runners of the respective teams.
Kernan can't believe it, and neither can we.
Great spirit.
With all due respect to every other club in the competition, right now I hope these two play off in the grand final. Glenn Archer, it was with Mark Toran.
Arch, what a last term. You played in one of those before.
Yeah, it was sensational, especially leading up to the finals. You need a good, good game like that, good slug out.
The intensity enormous from both sides. We're going to see a great final series, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we'll have a good one.
Is it, you've got a real feeling that's like 96 all over again at North Melbourne?
Oh, there's a good feeling there. We won't know until we play the first final.
With Dennis Pagan, he always likes to keep things very quiet. You've had a big win, but there's a big task ahead. What do you do now?
Oh, the real season starts now. We'll just forget about this game and the rest of the games and hopefully have a great final series.
Okay, Glenn, well done. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mark. Tippers with Dennis Pagan. Dipper.
Thanks very much, Bruce or Dennis. The game was played in great spirit, mate.
Certainly was, and a lot of people have said to me that it was a meaningless game. I think your pride and your professionalism come into it, and they're the points that we stress to our players. And we didn't play well early, but we're terrific after half time, and just so proud of all of our boys, Robert. And it's been a fine end to the home and away for us. We've broken a club record today. No North Melbourne teams won 9 on the trot before. We forget about what's happened in the home and away. We sit down, we assess the situation we're in, and really look forward to the finals football with a real enthusiasm and a keenness from now on.
Thanks for joining us, Dennis. Well played, mate.
Great effort. Thanks, Dipper and Mark Doran there. We saw Terry Wallace a moment ago too. They had a wonderful opportunity, the Dogs. You could not blame them, though. They played heroically and magnificently. It was just one of those matches where somebody in the end had to lose, and it was the Bulldogs on the line. Look at Dennis, he's absolutely spent. You can tell that in the interview, as are his players. It was a classic match to finish the home and away season for the two teams who, between them really, have been the outstanding team so far in 1998. So North Melbourne minor premiers. Kangaroos finishing on top with 9 consecutive wins, and as Dennis said, no North Melbourne team has ever achieved that in the past. The Carey Grant stats were interesting. Both kicked 4 goals. Both basically had the same number of kicks, handballs, and Chris Grant had a few more marks. They both contributed enormously to their teams. As we come inside, and for the 9th consecutive time, we'll hear the song for North Melbourne.
North Melbourne boys are hard to beat when they come out to play. So join in the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne will be premiers in 1998.
It's the first time since 1983 they finished minor premiers. When they won with Dennis Pagan in 96, they were second behind Sydney on the ladder. Sang it with a bit of gusto, didn't they?
Well, I reckon they were a little bit buggered, Bruce, to be quite honest with you. I think they put everything they possibly